It is Monday, March 22nd, 2021. This week on the show, Mostly Madness voting has begun on our website. The MCU rewatch continues with a review and rating of Captain America: Civil War. The perfect warm-up for our discussion of the premiere episode of The Falcon and Winter Soldier, now streaming on Disney+. And we serve up a second piece of The Meat with a deep dive of Zack Snyder's Justice League that premiered last week on HBO Max. This is Mostly Superheroes. Hello and welcome to Mostly Superheroes, a weekly video podcast where we talk mostly live-action superheroes, but also anything else out there worth talking about. We rate, debate, and celebrate the stories that inspire us most. I'm your host, Logan. Joining me, as always, my dear friends, my co-host, PC Mike, and the Giggler. PC Mike, welcome back. How are you feeling today?
A little overwhelmed with how much cool stuff that has happened this past week.
Absolutely. I'm going to give it up.
A lot of content.
As for a podcast that talks about live action superhero stuff, this was a big week.
I mean, we talked before we got on the air, the biggest week.
The biggest week probably yet from whenever we first started the show. These couple of things we're talking about today were one of the first things we said we were most excited to hash out.
Let's fanboy out.
I think we're going to. Giggler, welcome back. First of all, congratulations on completing your 75 hard. Oh, there's the crack. That's perfect. And you said we were going to be drinking today, and I mean, Mike's got a diet, Dr. Pepper, of course.
Okay. PC Mike.
We got a couple Konas. Cheers, dude.
Kona's good.
Can't reach you. It's
Put
really
her in there.
No,
look at that.
no ad, but Kona is good.
Yeah. It's definitely one of my favorite beers. It's just tasty.
I have
Summer,
Kona as
and
well.
it's nice.
This is
outside.
a nice.
It's nice outside. It's looking good. Andy, how are you feeling? How was your celebration on Sunday, finishing the 75 hard?
Yes, it was nice to not have to work out twice or read a book or track every calorie that I put in my body for a day. Because I estimate I put in about 5,000 yesterday.
Wow.
While working out 0 times. It was wonderful.
You had a bunch of St. Louis hits.
Oh yeah.
You had like Max Local Eats.
Oh yeah, Max. Then I went to Four Hands.
Great brewery here in town.
Had a beer at Bluewood Brewing, which is connected to Max.
Yep.
Went to Peroni's Pizza in Florissant, North County place, right by my parents' house.
Nice.
Best pizza in the whole world. Crushed like a large 3-topping.
You did it.
You hit every area of like St. Louis,
Yeah,
too,
I
all the
did
way out to the
everything.
burbs.
Yeah, you're all
downtown.
over town.
Yes, it was phenomenal, and I feel like a sack of garbage today.
Just
but
feeling
I don't even
crappy,
care.
feeling greasy, feeling like it's like, okay, but now you were saying as you walked in, though, it's back to the grind. You had your big cheat day, and you're going to get back on a rhythm or something?
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you got to ease back in.
Yeah, I'm just going to enjoy this nice Kona Tropical Punch Island Seltzer and talk about things that I love.
Well, we are proud of you. You actually
awesome.
you started and finished that thing. Holy cow. I can't believe 75 days come and
Yeah,
gone just
really.
like that.
That's what the craziest thing is.
I bet it wasn't just like that for him.
How was it really? What was your
No,
experience?
it was really hard. It was
tough?
definitely the hardest thing I've ever accomplished in my life. So I'm
What was
happy
the
that it's
hardest
over
part?
with. Just the consistency. Like the days, like some days where we would record. Like I'd get off work at like 4, come over here. We'd record for a couple hours. I'd get home and still have to do if I had a busy day at work, I'd still have to do 2 workouts. So I'd go take the dog for a walk, go inside, eat dinner, read a book for a little bit, and then literally go downstairs and work out again until 10 p.m. So
Oh my gosh.
the days like that were definitely tough.
I'll just say you look great. Are you happy with your results?
I'm so happy.
Yeah, feeling good about where you landed and
Oh,
where it
yeah.
goes from here?
Yeah.
You look great. You look fit.
Thank you.
Give it up for you again.
Appreciate you guys.
You got it. Well, that's one of the things about having a podcast. Everything you say is recorded, and we can hold you to it. So
Yes.
hopefully we helped a little.
Oh yeah. We'll see how the next 75 days go.
That's right. Let's get into our first segment of the day.
Fan mail.
We always feature fans first on this show. We love that you're here. Appreciate you guys and appreciate the support, listening and talking about us to your friends and family. This week is all about Mostly Madness. We're keeping the show nice and tight today. We have a lot to talk about. But the Mostly Madness tournament is live. Go to mostlysuperheroes.com/Mostly Madness. You can now vote on the round 1 movies. And this is what I made a little bit part of the contest piece. We're doing weekly drawings, right? We're going to have our first one today, first of all. We have a winner. Just a little tease. But the voting mechanism is live. You guys tried it out. Pretty easy, right?
Very easy. Very
easy to go. Like right when you get to the page, it's like the first thing you see, you just start picking titles. What's cool is you have the option of putting your name and email. You do not have to, and you don't have to sign up to vote. You can just go vote if you want. But if you do, you're in it for the weekly drawings. And I thought it'd be fun to feature some of the matchups and letting you guys know how it's going.
Please do.
All right. So first up, just a few. Oh, this guy's already getting upset.
Yep.
And we're going to feature some fans during this too. This is why it's during fan mail. We get some shout outs to give. We got some matchups to highlight. What do you
This just pisses me off.
You're already mad.
Yeah. My favorite movie of all time is gonna lose to Dodgeball right now. I'm gonna be like that Kermit meme where you just see him just type it on his computer tonight. I'm gonna be like, oh, Rachel, give me a name. I need to fake a name.
Yeah. So what PC
Oh,
Mike's
man.
talking about, it's here on the screen. Shout out to our YouTube channel. I'm just featuring a few of these, not all of them. But Dodgeball versus Goodfellas. Dodgeball is kicking that Goodfellas ass. Probably got about 75% of the votes. It looks like.
I mean, do people even care? Like, do you even care about like
Some of these are wild.
integrity?
Look at this. Happy Gilmore versus Back to the Future 2.
Fine with
Happy
that.
Gilmore is winning this one about 75%.
I can see that over the other one.
Yeah, and this just hurts me because that was my movie.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
personally speaking,
Goodfellas
it
was
sucks.
We're all gonna get a little butt hurt at some point.
But I
during
like
this, for
Happy
sure.
Gilmore, and I understood this response.
I think our age demographic, like,
The Dark Knight whooped Signs.
Yeah.
Which with our demographic, that's probably going to hold true. You're going to have the superhero movies did very well in round 1. I will say that. Shawshank Redemption and Thor Ragnarok, though, 50-50.
it's crazy.
Which that's how it is for me. Like that's if you think about my brain, that's what I think of
Yeah.
with these two titles.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got some fan mail to highlight. Had Will Compton from over with Bussin' with the boys. For the boys got their hat here. He texted me, said that dude, that was so hard. I was like, yeah, these matchups actually make you physically angry. Speaking of our buddy Brandon R, same thing. Just filled it out and found myself yelling out loud while doing so.
Same.
It's like it's not a fun experience when you actually sit down and have to pick one or the other.
I had to do the same thing as you that you talked about putting your pen down, like taking a break. Like there was a quarter of my bracket that could not be filled out because I had to think about it for so long.
I just think I went with my like as quick as I could. I think I did almost
That's
the
the
opposite,
best.
like just boom, 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 like not harp on it too much.
Yeah. I think, and that's what you got to do is you got to just do that
Scope.
momentary. What do I feel in this moment? Pick it, and don't let it get to you too much. And wanted to shout out definitely some of the people that have voted and sent in their brackets lately. This is just just pick some randoms here. Sean, Dr. Dom, Brad M, Jacob B, Scott S, Chris G, Wyatt, Casey, Brad L, Adam, Zach, and Henry. Thank you guys so much for entering your votes. Those matchups are a good indication kind of what's happening right now. These brackets are all over the place. Round 1's happening. We're going to vote for at least a week, and we'll kind of check in and see how many votes are. We might extend round 1, but if we're feeling good with the amount of entries we have in a week, we'll probably move right on to round 2 and keep an eye on our Instagram where we're going to be putting these votes out for the public eye too. So it's easiest to vote at the website, mostlysuperheroes.com/Mostly Madness, and go get your vote in, enter to win. Speaking of winning, we're doing a weekly drawing at random. We have our first winner this week. Let's give it up for Gerald.
Hey,
Hell yeah, Gerald.
Gerald, thanks so much for entering. You did provide your email address, which is required to enter the drawing. I'll be in touch. We're going to get you some Mostly merch. How about that? Congrats, Gerald. You can win too. It's that easy. And the Mostly Madness tournament is here. It's so much fun.
I love it already.
You guys been having a good time with
It's
it?
way better than basketball March Madness.
Well, and I also feel like it's definitely emphasis on like the mad part of madness.
Mhm.
Like I feel like that's more about like people are getting upset looking at these votes,
For sure.
which I love.
But that's why we
did it.
what we intended.
That's the whole point, is to make you actually get physically ill and have to pick between two movies. So get over there. It's up to you which movies make it to the top. And we will keep you apprised each and every week and on our social media with that. Let's get into what we're watching. What you watching? All right, so what you watching? We agreed. We're all three making the sacrifice to just get through our 3 big titles of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Got 3 big titles, and we wanted to do our hashtag MCU rewatch this week, which is Captain America Civil War. Is that still cool with you guys? Anything that you really, really are itching to tell the fans that you watched? If you really have something this week, I would really let you.
I watched the last Blockbuster on Netflix.
You did.
Documentary.
It's been catching my eye.
Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of nostalgia.
Should we watch it?
Yes.
Andy, anything?
No, just our boy Darnell Ferguson winning on Tournament of Champions yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. You said that. And the guy hit you back on Instagram.
Yeah, you gotta get in those DMs too.
I messaged him after we talked about him on the episode, said, hey, we featured you, and I think he gave me a thumbs up or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Maybe we're just planting those seeds.
Yeah, I just said we're rooting for you hard. Good luck. And he comes out 6 hours later on national TV and pulls out a W to put himself in the final 8.
Good for him. Tournament of he's the champion.
I hope so.
Okay, so he's still.
Chef. So there's still plenty of rounds to go. I think they do 3 matchups per week, so it's going to be a while before they finish up everything. But it'll probably be a while before we touch base on them. But we just need to keep going.
All right. Well, I like that. Nice and tight. I didn't plan on those, but I knew we could squeeze a couple in.
Oh yeah.
Let's get this Captain America Civil War recap in the books for our new library, mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU. You can go over check out all the titles. We're doing this really fun thing, watching the old stuff with the new stuff, seeing how they connect. I've had some really good experiences doing this with WandaVision. Certainly want to keep the trend going with with Falcon and Winter Soldier, which we will be talking about right after this. So we're going to just go from this to that. This is going to be quick like Ant-Man.
Smooth transitions.
Trying to keep it flow. Mike, I'm going to tell everybody, I gave you guys the out on this one, and you said you didn't get the chance to watch it.
I did not. I promised to. I was going to watch it.
Yeah, but I texted you 3 days ago. I said you have the out because we have too much to watch this week.
Snyder Cut took 4 hours.
Andy, did you get a chance to watch this? But I also know you watched this recently.
No, I watched it a couple months ago.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
Not recently.
I did about spit out my drink when I saw how much money it made.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's just get into it. Captain America Civil War. Got a little help from Wikipedia today. Going to keep it nice and tight for you. If you listened last week, Ant-Man was our most recent one. This comes right after Ant-Man, and it takes place before Doctor Strange, which we'll talk about next. And then we'll talk about what other titles are coming up next in the MCU rewatch. This is the 13th film in the MCU, and it did come out in 2016. Like Mike was saying, it had a budget of $250 million, and it made $1.15 billion with a B. You guys may remember Batman vs. Superman came out in March of 2016, and there was a lot of the promotions were battling almost. The movies were battling because they were both about two sides fighting each other. And I remember just seeing all the promotion, but it's around the same time of BVS. A little help from Wikipedia here, just give you the synopsis, and we're going to breeze right through this. Keep it nice and tight, but there's so many characters in this one. It really is basically Avengers 2.5. It's also pretty much Iron Man 4. There's not an Iron Man 4 movie, but this is starring Robert Downey Jr. With that, let's just get into it here. 2016, produced by Marvel Studios, of course, distributed now by Disney. It's the sequel to Captain America: The First Avenger, which was 2011, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which was 2014, and the film was directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, who, of course, did Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame. And it's from the screenplay that is by the writing team of Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. It stars Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, Captain America, alongside a huge ensemble cast, including Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Scarlett Johansson coming back as Black Widow, Sebastian Stan here as the Winter Soldier, coming off the events of Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Bucky and Captain kind of on the hunt for this guy. Well, he shows up in this one. Big part of the story. A lot of his backstory, a lot of flashbacks. You also have Anthony Mackie as the Falcon, of course. Definitely a good title to be watching just for today. Don Cheadle coming in as War Machine, which, spoiler alert, he's in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which can't we talk about it.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's
That was a little bit. I didn't realize he was going to be in there that quick, I guess.
so quick. He's in this movie. He comes back as War Machine. Jeremy Renner's in this as Hawkeye. Chadwick Boseman, the late and great R.I.P., comes in and introduces Black Panther in this movie. Tom Holland introduces Spider-Man in this movie. And we also have Daniel Bruhl playing Zemo, the bad guy of this film, also a bad guy in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Connections.
That's what we're doing here, folks. Trying to help you out. Falcon and Winter Soldier premiered. This movie is an absolute must-watch. If you're asking yourself, which ones would I watch to prepare for this? This is maybe the top one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We said we were going to do something fun today with the conflict of this movie. We said we would talk about it, hash it out. I thought it'd be cool to do this. One, it's going to help all of us just ground ourselves with the Sokovia Accords, which play a big role. So this is going to help maybe Andy and I are very familiar. Mike's probably not too familiar.
I need this.
Do you know what they are, the Sokovia Accords? Right.
You tell me.
Perfect.
Are we about to get political in here?
It's going to get political.
Like fake
and
political?
This is
great.
This is what's fun about it is because since it's a movie, who cares? And we'll try to pick a side. All right, here it is. Sokovia Accords. This is basically what happens in this movie.
I don't know what you're going to do.
Cut in. No.
Are you basically just going to tell both sides without who's on a side and we're going to pick a side?
Well, I'm going to help with the story. Since we're talking about the movie, I want to make sure it's clear that we're also it's kind of two birds, one stone. I'm going to tell you about the politics, who's involved, but I'm going to try to give the reasons why. And then we're going to ask ourselves, how do we feel about this?
I think I know which side I already lean after seeing this, but
let's just see. Let's just see.
You might change my mind.
The Sokovia Accords come up in this movie because the Avengers have made some very public mistakes. Most of all, Age of Ultron. Sokovia is the big movie there that Ultron lifts up and smashes down to the ground. And the world at that point is okay, too much. We need some structure around this. And that's what Civil War is all about. Here's the deal. Sokovia Accords requires superheroes to be registered and that the Avengers now have to report to a panel on the UN who decides when and where these heroes can be deployed. Whether they can go somewhere, where they can't. Or if they need them to go somewhere, they got to go. Captain America, his side is that organizations can't be trusted. We have learned this too many times with S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra and the World Defense Council, or whatever they call them in the MCU. Always corrupt. His argument is, what if they tell us to go somewhere and we don't want to go there? What if we need to go somewhere and they won't let us? And he agrees that our hands are our own. Our hands are the best, rather than trusting somebody else. Tony Stark and the other side, he is stricken by guilt in this one. He feels really bad. A mother from a kid that visited Sokovia for help him with building houses or something, got killed, makes Tony feel all guilty. And this pushes Tony to lean toward, you know what, we need to be put in check. He's also having problems with Pepper Potts in this movie because he's been too crazy because of, if you guys remember the events of Iron Man 3, he kind of lost his mind. And she's they're taking a break in this one. They're kind of on the outs. So he wants to be hey, if the UN wants to put a little leash on us, it's not a big deal. And it's a little bit of compromise. Black Widow even says we've made very public mistakes. The whole world knows about this. It's not it's an isolated thing. We got to win their trust back, is kind of how Tony and Black Widow are saying this. Giggler, where do you fall?
My heart lies with Team Iron Man, but with this situation, I gotta go with Team Cap.
Yeah, you can't. It's like you're giving in, and you're saying, "Okay, we'll work for you."
Yeah. I wouldn't do that. No way. I mean, they basically have special power, not powers, but I don't know,
abilities. They're enhanced.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into a lot of that kind of stuff, I guess, when we review Falcon and Winter Soldier. But they're getting nothing out of this. They're doing this out of their own goodwill. Yeah,
they're just here, we'll sign this form, and then if they do anything that they don't like, they're essentially a fugitive.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Which, spoiler alert for the movie, we always when we talk about these, I mean, that's exactly what happens. This side over here, Captain America and his team, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, they go into hiding. I mean, that's what they do pretty much leading up to Infinity War. So that's exactly what happened there. Captain America is a fugitive of the law when this movie ends. PC Mike, what do you think about this politically?
I lay with Andy. I think it's you're a good Samaritan. Like, I know it's a
Mhm.
small case, but if you saw a crime happening on a street, like an old lady getting her purse stolen, do they have to go to, like, get permission to help that old lady?
Just like they did exploring The Boys.
Yeah.
And there was all the PR aspects behind, like, Starlight did save that woman in an alley, and she got in trouble.
Yeah.
We talk about The Boys on this show. It's kind of like that. That's
Mhm.
what they're trying to show. Okay.
Like, I get it's bigger scale. Like, hey, we
Right.
can't destroy a whole country or tear
Yeah.
up New York again like we've done for the 60th time.
Yeah.
But I just think you can't. He's Captain America. Like, he wants to do what's best for our country. We made
Right.
him.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think he has the best interests in mind.
Yeah.
And I don't think Tony in this movie is thinking with all of his head. I
yeah.
think he's more of his heart. And, like,
Yes.
And just think of the Avengers movie without the Avengers. New York just gets destroyed.
Right.
The world's over.
Exactly.
How do they get thanked for that? Clearly, they're not getting paid of any kind.
Yeah. And we learned about that.
Yeah, that scene like just blew my mind. And
Oh,
that's,
man.
that's obviously what that show is going to be.
We're not trying to do this, but
I'm
we
sorry.
are sneaking some stuff in for Falcon Winter Soldier. But hey, this is what happens when the connections happen. So I'll just say spoiler alert for the
I
show,
don't wanna-
of course.
I'm
Of
not
course.
even going to elaborate what that's
No.
about, but people that know will know. It's just
spoiler
like-
alert we're going to talk about 3 big things today.
Yeah.
This
Civil War, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and the Snyder Cut. There's your spoiler alert
Yeah.
because we're gonna be doing crossover city here.
That's crazy. I've never thought about really what side I would be on for this. So this kind of blew my mind.
Well, it's a really fundamental question of like, well, do you believe in structure of government? Because the UN is like the top of the top. So I get both sides of like, you know what? If the UN is the World Council, so
they might have to answer to them if something does go bad.
yeah, that's what it should be. It should have almost been like, well, you just have to report to them when things like there has to be a process.
Yeah.
Instead, though, it was like you either sign up, or they lay it out. They say, or you retire. If you're not registered, you retire. That's what they said,
And then they can charge them with war crimes or whatever.
which is exactly what happens.
But like, think about this: the United Nations is like nations on Earth. Like, this is a whole universe. Like, they deal
Right.
with aliens from elsewhere.
Exactly.
Not just like, I get where if there's domestic threats, like, right, that they should potentially kind of be in check of some kind. But like when Thanos comes out and unleashes aliens,
Yeah, who's he answering to?
in the world, like, yeah, exactly. That's,
Well, and I think we're seeing some of that. We saw some of that playing out whenever we met Sword in WandaVision. We're starting to see what a galactic security system looks like, and that's how they talked about things now. It wasn't just like the world and protecting. It was like we have galactic stuff going on now. So I feel like they're starting to get into that world of what does the world leaders do in terms of protecting things from the galaxy. So I think we're getting in there. But that's a really good point too. It's like, who are you, the UN, to know about fighting on Titan?
Like, I could get it if it's like a Nazi organization, like the
Which-
UN be involved. Yes.
Right, which is what happened with Sword or Shield.
But, I mean, you got Thanos coming in and killing half of worlds and galaxies. Like,
Well, listener, what do you think? You picked Iron Man, Captain America? Let us know. Got to give a shout out to our YouTube again. We got our images here from Disney Plus, and we had a little help from the rantingsbox.com. They helped us with this image. All right, I had some top moments just to wrap this up. I'll give a rating. Giant man at the airport. Paul Rudd turning huge, and it's probably one of my top favorite moments on film. The introduction again of Black Panther. Him running down the highway with Captain America and Bucky Barnes, like all of them are running down the highway literally like 45 miles an hour and just running like next to cars.
like Andy after 75 hard.
no more running. Honestly, I'll tell you this: in the 75 days, I did not run one time.
That wasn't your exercise of choice.
No. Walking and lifting weights and boxing, kicking ass. Just trying to be an Avenger, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean you're basically Avenger status now after 75 days working hard. Also, I absolutely love the introduction of Tom Holland as Spider-Man in this movie. That song that plays whenever Robert Downey Jr. goes there, it's in my head. It's like, when your love is free. I don't know.
Oh, Alt J, left hand free.
That's exactly it. So I guess I sang it well enough.
Karaoke night on Mostly Superheroes.
Careful. That'd be a show in itself.
I know.
Shout out Carson's.
Yeah, Carson, St. Louis. That's the old spot. Can't wait to get back there after. I guess they're raising. I guess things are happening out there. We might be able to go to Carson's for some karaoke at some point here soon.
Oh, yeah.
And then I mean, obviously the end stuff. Cap versus Iron Man. The fight with all three of them: Iron Man, Winter Soldier, and Captain America. Just at the end, fighting to the end. Iron Man suit, like learning Captain America's fight patterns, and Cap leaving that shield behind. Iron Man blowing off Winter Soldier's arm with his center piece, like just blasts off his arm. And then the end scene just tugs at the heartstrings. Tony's reading that letter from Cap. Cap leaves him a flip phone. He says, "Hey man, I know we had a rough time today, but if you ever need me, call." And they do call eventually. Mid-credit scene, Bucky goes to Wakanda, which they talked about it in the show immediately, and I can't wait to talk about it. Just gotta get through this to get to Falcon and Winter Soldier. In credit scene, Peter Parker is back in his room. They tease out Spider-Man Homecoming, which is coming up. All right, I'll wrap up here with my review, my rating. Captain America Civil War, one of the movies that actually lived up to all the hype it had. It really is absolutely one of my favorite films. I watch it all the time. Tells an amazing story, introduces Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Giant Man, while tucking in an amazing story about the Avengers, Tony Stark, Captain America, and continues the story of the Winter Soldier. Like, it's really accomplishes so much. It's so impressive, and it's inching up to Infinity War. Action-packed, heartfelt, and flat-out fun. One of my favorites. I'm going to give it a 3.7. It's up there. It's up there.
Yeah.
Diggler, do you want to give any final thoughts on this thing? Any moments that I missed? And feel free to give a rating, but that's your call. Your call.
As always, I'll just throw that rating out first. Get that boy out of the way. I've been thinking a lot about this while you talked about it. 3.5. It's definitely in that top tier, but not on the same realm as like Infinity War and Endgame. That's not a problem really, but it's pretty damn close because just look at the cast. Like you talked about, you crushed the best moments. Like the battle scene is like Endgame Junior almost. Like just like at the time we hadn't really seen something like that, and just the way that you kind of transport yourself back to the theater, seeing that, and that was wild. Like just and the fact that Giant Man, you had Black Panther in there, Underoos, Spider-Man,
Underoos,
like just insane. And like now like they're fighting in these scenes, but then they still like everything's so sophisticated, and like their storytelling is so sophisticated enough where like you can see why it's happening, and then why they basically end up, spoiler alert, like all still being fine. They're all Avengers after it, and then eventually come back together to fight a bigger bad. It's like that, like you said last week, just like the storytelling is just insane, and this movie is kind of one of the perfect examples of it.
Yeah, how do they do that with so many characters? Like the Russo brothers are just geniuses to be able to, like, just from a programming standpoint, just so impressive. And then PC Mike didn't see it, but I mean, how did me and Andy do talking about it?
I think you guys did a great job.
It sounds like a pretty good movie, probably based on what you heard.
I have seen this.
You have,
but just not in
a long time.
Many moons.
Oh, okay. I assumed you had never seen it.
No, I've seen this.
Okay, this
is a big one.
It's a big one. All right, you don't have to say anything because you didn't see it recently.
Not recently, no.
When do you think you saw it last?
When did it pop on Netflix?
Yeah, now it's on Disney Plus.
4 years ago,
probably.
Yeah, you got to rate.
Came out in 2016. Probably came out in 2017, like a year later.
Yeah.
Okay.
2017.
All right.
I just remember I was frustrated about like the ideology of Iron Man. Like, I don't know, hang your hat on that. Like, I don't know. I didn't like that.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair response.
But I will not grade because it's been like
too long.
Many moons.
I can't wait you'll do an MCU rewatch. I know you're going to at some point. You've mentioned it
Maybe.
before. You've said you're the one that said it.
Maybe.
All right.
I mean, if Snyder keeps popping out these things, I might just turn my back on MCU.
Oh man, this is gonna be a good
quite a
discussion.
I might just go heel.
This is a good discussion today. We got a good group of stuff today for this crew. All right, wrap this one up. Just wanted to wrap up with Phase 4 connections. I already talked about a few of these, but WandaVision, very briefly, as we get ready to move into Falcon and Winter Soldier. WandaVision, though, these are the moments not long after the flashbacks that we saw in Episode 8, when Wanda went back and like was sitting in her bedroom at Avengers Campus. These are that moment was like leading up to this movie, or vice versa. I guess this was like leading up to that. Either way, see the same place. Wanda's also very much a young Avenger in this movie. She's getting a lot of training from Black Widow, a lot of one-on-one time with Captain America, and she actually does the big event that causes the Sokovia Accords to come to fruition. She takes that guy that Captain's fighting in the first 10 minutes and blows up that hospital. And that's
Crossbones.
Crossbones,
Yeah.
yes. The guy that got his face smashed in
yeah.
the Winter Soldier. His name's escaping me. And then Wanda's very much hanging out with, we said Black Widow and Cap, but also Hawkeye. So I still think there might be some crossover with Hawkeye and Wanda in future stuff, like maybe the Hawkeye show even. And I think that's all we had on the Falcon Winter Soldier, of course. So this is Bucky's backstory. You see a lot of him as the Winter Soldier in this film, including killing Tony Stark's parents. So that's a big thing he did. Shannon Carter is in this one helping the guys out, and she is also in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I imagine she's going to be playing a similar role, helping from like the CIA if she can. We see Falcon's journey leading up to the 2 years that he spends with Captain America, leading up to Infinity War. Again, we get introduced to Baron Zemo, the bad guy of the film, bad guy of Falcon and Winter Soldier. At the end of this movie, that Baron Zemo guy is with the CIA agent and former Air Force pilot Everett Ross. He's played by Martin Freeman, the same guy that plays the Hobbit.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if he'll maybe show up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, because that's where Baron Zemo is at the end of this. He's in a cell with that CIA agent, and you might remember him from Black Panther. He's in that movie as well.
Also a strange connection. Pretty sure he was in a Sherlock Holmes show with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that right?
I believe you. Benedict Cumberbatch has that Sherlock Holmes show.
Pretty sure they were in it together.
I
think he was
Watson.
Yeah.
And he's great. I bet he kills it because he's good at everything he does. I've always seen a couple of the Hobbit films, but he's a great actor. We might see him in Falcon Winter Soldier. I guess you'd call that a theory. Not near on the crazy on the theories. Falcon Winter Soldier like WandaVision. I think it's gonna be a lot less.
I did see a great TikTok or something about fan theories about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Just I saw one that was instead of Falcon the Winter Soldier, said Mephisto and the Mephisto.
I saw one. It
He's
starts
coming.
off. I know we're going to talk about it, but
That's
if
fine.
I don't say it, I'll forget it.
Go ahead.
He's in the very beginning. He's ironing a shirt. He's like, Iron Man. Iron Man's in this.
Oh my god! How do we not know these things?
No, let's get right into it. Let's get to the Falcon Winter Soldier. So that's our MCU rewatch for Captain America Civil War, one of the best. Go check it out at mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU, along with all of our titles. New stuff getting added every single week. Coming up, Doctor Strange is the next film, followed by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm very excited to watch all of these and talk about them with all of you. Let's move into our first of two meets today. The meat. It'd be really bad if we did the Snyder cut right now and then Winter Soldier. I thought it through. Let's talk about the Winter Soldier.
That's next level thinking.
That's right. We keep it rolling with MCU. That's a Phase 3 film. We are now in Phase 4 with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the premiere on Disney Plus last Friday, March 19th. It is the 25th MCU title, and we're going to talk all about it. I'm going to go ahead and give it up right now. I had so much fun with Episode 1. Let's go ahead and say spoiler alert again right now for it, along with, this takes place after Avengers Endgame. So I have to say spoiler alert for really the Infinity Saga, Endgame, and Infinity War. This takes place after that. So if you didn't know that, now you know. Pay it forward, tell someone else, but don't listen anymore because we're going to talk about the ends of those movies.
And we have to correct ourselves after mistaking the timeline last week. We said 6 weeks. I think you said 6 weeks, and I said 3 months or something like that. But it was 6 months after Endgame is the accurate timeline.
Yes, I'm glad you remembered it correct because I did not remember that. Yes,
Yeah.
so it's
Okay.
actually 6 months post Endgame.
I mean, it doesn't affect a lot, but
Still,
still.
you know what's perfect? I thought I want to do this before I get your gut checks. I just want to do a quick set us up. Where is this taking place in the timeline? Where is it dropping us in? If you didn't know that, you're probably coming to the show to find out. And then I want to hear from each of you on how you guys felt about this, just kind of gut reaction. So before we talk about the big stuff, let's set it up. Spoiler alert again. And so Steve Rogers has retired. At the end of Endgame, he's an old man, and he says, I'm done, because he's 100. He's very old. And he has the shield. He gives it to Sam, a.k.a. Falcon. and says, "It's yours." And he is saying, "You're the next Captain America." Sam, keep in mind, he doesn't have any superpowers, but he is a bona fide superhero in his own right. He's been in so many films. He has been with Captain America for so long, years at this point. He was on like on the run team after Civil War. That's like 2 years he's with Captain America on the road. But he has super cool wings, solid fight moves. I love this guy. I've always been a big fan of the character. And then you have Bucky Barnes. So he's a.k.a. the Winter Soldier, a.k.a. Steve Rogers' childhood best friend. But he's also had 50 years of being brainwashed by Hydra and has done many, many, many murders, including the murder of Tony Stark's parents, like we said earlier, until he had a 2-year rest and rehab in Wakanda.
You love this.
Because he had like a little sabbatical. He was like, I'm going to take 2 years. I'm just going to Wakanda. I'm not going to have my arm for
Nice
a while.
little vacation spot, little Wakanda.
They like freeze him at the end of.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was frozen for some of it, right?
Yeah, in the end credit scene of I don't know if I may accidentally skip that, but yeah, one of the end credit scenes in Civil War, Bucky's going under in Wakanda, and I thought like that looks nice. Take a break, just freeze me.
You know what, guys? I need this.
Why don't you just freeze me for a few months?
Yeah.
How could you imagine being frozen for like just the past year? Like what you'd have to catch up on?
I can kind of
Not much.
imagine.
Yeah, well,
Didn't leave the house.
No, it's
We
a
left-
lot.
Yeah, we left the house the same amount of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully whoever would be frozen now would see that it's almost over. I think things are starting to happen again. I'm seeing this horizon. I'm
there.
like hopeful.
It's there.
Okay, good. I didn't know if it was just me.
Nope, it's there.
Okay, so Bucky chilled in Wakanda again after the events leading up to the events of Infinity War. Now, this is a big part. Both Sam and Bucky got dusted by the Thanos snap. So they were gone for 5 years, and then they came back in Endgame for the big fight against Thanos when Hulk snapped everybody back. Again, just for everybody's knowledge sake, this event is called the blip in the MCU. This is when everybody got snapped, came back. So these guys, they were gone. They were dead for 5 years. And like you said, after the fight with Thanos, 6 months later, we are now watching a show that takes place 6 months after Endgame and follows the lives of these two guys, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Bucky, the Winter Soldier, and Sam, in the MCU in a world without Captain America and a world without Iron Man. That's the premise. Pretty good. I'll give it up. This is why the show is gonna be great. Let's just talk about it. Giggler, how was episode 1 for you?
You know what? I liked it. I'm not gonna say I loved it yet, but I think it does a great job of setting up where we're potentially going. Like I still have like a lot of questions on what's going to happen, but like just going to trust the process just as we kind of learned from WandaVision. Like I feel like the first 2 episodes, everyone complained how they're a little slow, whatever. But like think about how we reacted to those next few episodes after that. Like it was just relentless madness. And I think this will probably be the same. Like there was a lot of action. It's kind of felt more like a movie than like WandaVision did. So I'm really excited to see what happens with this. There's going to be like multiple bad guys in this. Like I still kind of don't know what the actual plot's going to be. Like
right.
how obviously they're separate now, but how are they going to be brought together? All that good stuff. So I'm pumped. I think it does a lot of good, like laying the groundwork for what's to come the next 5 weeks. That's what's crazy. There's only 5 more episodes.
Yeah, already 1 down.
Yeah.
PC Mike, especially at the same week as the Snyder Cut. How'd this show sit for you? You watched it yesterday.
I really enjoyed it.
You liked it.
I think it's kind of a show for like more of the casual fan too.
Yeah.
Because you can watch this first episode and just enjoy it. It's
Right.
a superhero show. I mean, there's battles. I do like how we have basically kind of like 2 timelines, not Memento style, but like we get to see the Falcon and the Winter Soldier like do their own thing. And then when they converge, like Andy said, it'll be awesome. But yeah, I thought it was action packed. I'm used to Disney having 8 minutes of credits now, so it's not that big of a letdown. But
Yeah, it's like and it's the same.
yeah, it's the same.
It's long credits.
But yeah, it was entertaining. I'm starting to care about the characters more and more. The ending, I mean, that's what people are talking about, and I'm sure we will.
Yes.
But the ending, you're like, what in the hell is going on here? I kind of see why they did it, like a symbol, but why him? Why that look?
And I think it's on purpose.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is here, everybody's gonna hate. We've already said spoiler alert. everyone's gonna hate this new Captain America. And that's the whole point, I think. Because look at that smug little face. Got to plug the images from Disney Plus on our YouTube channel.
Just a punchable face.
It looks like that cartoon thing that's hanging right there in your
great.
in the
Andy.
studio here.
Now I'll have to put that up on the screen every time. Just so you guys know, every time we mention a photo, I have to put it in the show.
Hey, what about this little thing back
Hey,
here?
You gotta show it all.
You just start naming stuff. No, you're right. He looks just like this corny little cartoon. That mask, his stupid little grin.
He looks like the
He's got like a moon face.
the
like his
grandpa from
chin.
Up.
Yeah, he does look like the grandpa
That's
from
the
Up.
most accurate thing I've ever seen.
I totally echo what you guys said. I'd love to hear as kind of like the not as heavy MCU fan. I agreed. I thought like anybody can watch this and it'll just be really fun. Like it opens with that. I mean, the opening sequence, just Falcon kicking ass, flying, and just being total awesome.
Yeah, I think it's for people that want to, and I could see why this would have been the first thing they do.
Because who's gonna get mad at a guy flying with wings, like taking down jets and stuff?
But like as I'm on the wiki, like Flag Smashers, is that a thing?
Yeah, so
Is that like in Marvel?
that's in the Marvel lore, and this is what I've read. Had some help from I had Vanity Fair help us out with some Snyder cut stuff and comic book, of course. Read a few different things, but apparently, what the writers of the show have said, I guess in some interviews, is that even the people that know who the Flag Smashers are, or may even know who this Captain America is, per the comic book lore, they're saying that they've gone like a different route, and that people are going to be surprised, is what they say. We'll see. Well, here, just real quick, like 3 sentences. What happens in this? I thought it'd be fun just to say, like, what happens in this? Because this is more action. It's not like WandaVision. We do not have to be reading line by line, I don't think, anymore. I think we learned some hard lessons by doing that.
We learned some very tough lessons.
Yeah, it was. So we're going to get back to the story. We're going to enjoy these movies because they're easy, and shows because they're easy to enjoy, I think. In a nutshell, we're going to break some of this open. But just a nutshell. Sam isn't going to be Captain America. He decides, I'm not going to, and he gives his shield back to that museum. During what looks like a Captain America memorial? My first question was, has Captain America died?
True. Yeah.
Because it's like a thing with his picture up, and he was really old at the end of Endgame, and it's been 6 months.
And I didn't read this anywhere, but did you notice where Captain America was, that big picture on Sam?
On his left?
It was on his left the whole time.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be.
I didn't read that anywhere, but I was like,
That's gonna be everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be all the time, isn't it? Yeah. But he's. I don't know if they didn't confirm, but it seemed like he had died.
I don't know. I think it's something that's gonna be addressed eventually.
Okay.
The writers may have confirmed that, but I could be making that up. So don't really take that with a grain of salt, just like everything we say.
That's fair. Okay, Bucky is just trying to live a life post Winter Soldier. He's seeing a therapist. He's trying to make amends. Looks like he's like taking bad guys off a list and helping the police find them.
Using Tinder.
Using Tinder to catch him. Is that what he did?
No, he talked about using online dating.
He's at the
Oh,
bar.
yeah.
Not to catch people, but
he's
just
playing
to,
Battleship
just
with that girl.
Playing Battleship with the girl. It doesn't go too well. He makes a friend named Yori, an older Asian fella. His son dies, and Bucky's like struggling with, should I help this guy? That's what I took away. And he's trying to like go on dates and stuff. It's not really working, but he's seeing a therapist too. Talk about his bout in Wakanda. But anyway, it looks like he's just trying to live. And then there's a super soldier guy, which it looks like to me, the leader of the Flash Smashers. We meet him. He bumps into the young guy that's with Falcon at the beginning of the show. And to me, it looks like he has like super soldier strength. Like he's like kicking people clear across the street. Did you guys agree? Giggler, any thoughts?
either
on
that or mutants in the show confirmed. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I had to really think about it. I was like, but it could be.
That's a Nightcrawler kick from X-Men.
It could be. There is a close up of this guy's shot like in the show, and Falcon's looking at Sam, and I don't know who this is, but he looks strong, and they're just some kind of terrorist group. That's all we know so far.
Kind of looks like the Riddler from the new Batman that's coming out with Robert Pattinson.
The Riddler, he wears a mask like this?
Like the one of the terrorist guys in the trailer.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. They had something similar.
Yeah.
And then
no connection. There's not a connection there.
Not yet. Not yet. And then we do get the announcement of a new Captain America. This guy, this smug-looking guy,
What a dweeb.
and I believe this is confirmed. It's his name in the comics, but his name is John Walker, played by Wyatt Russell, and he's also known by in the comics codename U.S. Agent. is
Yep.
what he ends up being called. But right now, he is certainly being called Captain America with his schmug little smile.
It's Kurt Russell's son.
Oh,
Are you
Just
serious?
Found that out today.
That's Kurt Russell's
Cannot
son.
believe that I didn't realize that.
Unbelievable. Also,
was
in the
Goldie
news-
Hawn?
Yeah, I guess.
Goldie Hawn's in.
I gotta confirm this.
Wow.
Talk on.
Okay, let us know.
Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell are together.
Yes, they are. And Kurt Russell's in the MCU. He plays Star-Lord's dad, which we'll see in the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, that guy's in a lot of stuff.
This actor?
Yeah, Wyatt
wait.
Russell.
He was in one of my favorite movies ever, 22 Jump Street.
Yeah, he's like the punchable
yeah.
blonde kid.
That's right.
He's
That's
the,
right.
Quarterback? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a quarterback of the football team.
All right.
So, yeah, parents Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Oh, nice.
Remember my theory on this was that he's the pilot that shoots the missile in New York in Avengers 2012.
If that comes true.
I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah.
If it ends up being true, like it's a flashback story, because we're gonna get some origin story for this guy.
Yeah.
It's gotta have to be stuff that like we might care about, I think.
Like he did some bad stuff, and now he's like,
yeah.
got to fall on the sword. You have to be this Captain America guy.
Maybe, or he's just an inherently bad dude and is just always doing the evil thing. I don't know.
I'm just gonna go with that. He has a super. Obviously, he's gonna have strength. He's not just gonna be some normal dude. That's.
You think he's got abilities?
I think that
and he's strong.
he's gonna have serum in him, same as the Flag Smasher guy.
Oh man. He's also got the shield.
Yeah.
He's got the actual shield. And man, I'll tell you this: Sam looked pissed.
Yeah.
Sitting in Del LaCroix, Louisiana.
If your missile thing is right, I
That's
will
where he is with his family.
chug 3 beers on air. So
Promise?
Yeah.
All right, deal.
start with this one.
I just had to take a drink.
If you do nail that, like out of everything,
It's a random one to call, so it's like again.
I mean, we might learn about it in 28 years.
That's right. What else we got? Okay, so like I mentioned, Sam's family is in Del LaCroix, Louisiana. We meet his sister. So Sam again has been gone for 5 years. It looks like his family's been here making it work. He shows up and he's just trying to be Mr. Hero, solving all the problems.
Doesn't
Really-
want to sell the boat.
Doesn't want to sell the boat. She's like, you don't know what's happening. They try to get a loan. They fail. Even though he's Falcon. And this is where we learn
Made me
that
so mad.
he's like, didn't they pay you? And he's like, not really. Essentially. Like
Just
the
works for
Avengers
free.
the Avengers just weren't getting paid. And there's other jokes about that. In Avengers Age of Ultron, Sam is asking Cap. He's like, you going to get a place in Brooklyn? And Cap's like, I don't think I can afford a place in Brooklyn. Like, you're Captain America. You can't afford an apartment, and now like Sam's struggling.
I guess I can understand why the loan officer guy was kind of so taken back by that because
He fought
it is weird,
Thanos.
But
He fought against Thanos.
You need to have like people skills though, and realize that you look at their financial statements in front of you, and either like, oh, you haven't had income for 5 years, like,
How-
please.
I got blipped.
And he goes, yeah. He goes, me and billions of people.
Yeah, so I think that obviously that's going to be a big part.
There
of
should
the
be like
show.
a blip clause
yeah.
if you're getting
Sure.
loans.
Yeah. I was like, how is this not already solved? But it was a smaller town bank in
Like
Del LaCroix. I
like
don't know
you
if I'm
have
saying
to-
that right, but
You have to like carry around a card, like a CDC vaccination card, but it's a blip card.
It-
I was blipped.
it was an issue in Spider-Man. We'll find out Far From Home. It's not really a spoiler, but like they struggle with it too. Like one of the kids is, it looks like he's over 21, so he's getting served alcohol. But they're like, hey, he's only 16.
He was blipped for 5 years.
Yeah. So like, yeah, you're right, Andy. I think it'll be like an ongoing thing. All right, and yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked how they opened it up. Like you said, they're both separate right now. Sam's going through stuff with his family. Bucky's trying to live his life, and they're going to come together in something. I really wasn't sure what was going on with that guy, Yori, I think his name was, the guy that his son died. Did you pick up on what was going on?
It took me the second watch to get it, but Bucky killed his son. That's the scene
Mm-hmm.
of him going.
Oh, and then he.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's why he's feeling guilty.
Yeah.
And he wants to make amends.
Yeah. So that's. I
Oh
think
my gosh!
that whole
Good
scene
job, dude.
with-
I had no idea.
Yeah, when he was on the date, I think the whole point of that scene was to show that like she's asking why he's wearing gloves, why
Yeah.
this and that, and it's just like to show that like no one knows who he is, and like he has this dark past. He like makes that joke about he's 106 years old, and she
Yeah, I
just
was like,
laughs.
this lady literally doesn't know he's Winter Soldier.
Yeah, no one does. So that's the thing. Like he's
That's the
sitting there
thing.
talking to this guy, and I guess that's his like, yeah, that changes everything in your brain, doesn't it? Like he's
yeah,
just like
yeah. Well,
going to lunch with this guy, helping him out.
I figured that out. I was like, these people don't really know him. But I was like, but where is he? Do you guys remember where he is?
I can't remember.
That's the question, is where is he?
Yeah.
But it looked like he was in the United States. He's got like a American.
Kind of look. I'm just like New York almost to me.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because he was like in the streets when he
Yeah.
like got that car to do the thing. He was just in the city. Might just be like in Chinatown or something. I mean, honestly, if he's in New
Yeah.
York or something. Okay.
I have no idea, but it's just like, yeah, that's sad. Like he's just kind of dealing with it. Like he knows he has so much guilt. Like you said about Stark in Civil War, like just so much guilt about what they had done in the past, and he's kind of like dealing with it on camera for us to see now. Like we haven't really seen. That's a side of him that we really haven't seen much of. I feel like.
Well, and the therapist helps us all out too. She says you don't really have a history. You don't you don't like have any friends because he's been going from one fight to the other. And again, he says, the only peace and quiet I got was when I was in Wakanda, and you could tell that he like appreciated that. I really hope they show some flashbacks.
Very creepy. Her going through his phone though.
Yeah,
Like, give me your phone. Let
and
me check
also-
your text.
Here's the other question too. She kind of explains it, but it's like he's a civilian now, and the world has said like we're aware of your past, so this is why you're required to come talk to me, is to make sure you're not a danger to anyone. So is that what?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah.
It wasn't like because at first I thought like, is he working for a government thing, and this is the government psychiatrist? No, he's just required by law to see somebody.
And yeah, he's got that list. That's kind of I think it's a callback to Captain America's list that he was making of just like the things he needs to catch up on.
Oh yeah,
And,
I was thinking that, or the
yeah.
callback to the book in Civil War, that red book. Maybe he was because I
Yeah.
feel like he's going after like old criminals.
Yeah, for sure. Zemo's name was on the list. I paused it on it to
Good
check
job.
some things, and
Wow,
there
Andy.
is some. There definitely is some kind of Easter egg type names on there. Not that I could, besides Zemo, that I could identify directly. But if you look up anyone that wants to look up the names,
Mm-hmm.
you can see
They're
the
on there.
connections that they have in the past to his character and what kind of happens.
All right,
So,
all right.
Yeah, that's spoiler-free review there.
I like that. Appreciate it. And we already talked about the new Captain America, but we'll find out what goes on with him. The info I got earlier on the actor and whatnot was from goodhousekeeping.com. Appreciate you guys that. The links to our references will be in today's episode description. So if you want to read more on any of this stuff, just go check that out, and that link will be there for you. Wow, this was episode 1 of 6, 5 to go. Excited for episode 2 next week. I think that they did a great job. It feels like Marvel.
Mhm.
Like the action is there, the looks are there, and I just am so excited about this whole new world that's really in the future again. It's 5 years. It feels like anything can happen. Who knows where these stories will go? Who is this leader of the Red Hand Gang or whatever? What are they called?
Flag stompers.
Flag
Smashers.
Smashers.
Flag Smashers. Who is this guy? And how will Sam eventually? We've seen some promo materials of him like throwing the shield, practicing, like in the trailer. So I feel like he ends up with this shield at some point.
Yeah.
He's obviously visibly upset about this new Captain America. He's like, should have took him.
Yeah.
Yeah, should have took the.
Rhodey's
Rhodey
equally pissed at him too. You
Didn't
could
even
tell.
really talk about Rhodey. Love that they brought him in. It's like it mixes the worlds of Captain America and Iron Man into a TV show.
Mhm.
Like here's James Rhodes, the guy from Iron Man 2. He's in this TV show now. So cool. He's like, hey man, why didn't you take the mantle? His excuse is so lame. It's just like he's just not stepping up.
It felt like it belonged to someone else. It
Yeah.
made me really think like this show. I mean, do you guys think that this show is leading to like one
Him.
of them to actually becoming Captain America at the end?
Like
Yes.
basically crowning him.
I think he will be. This is his journey to be Captain America, I believe, by the end of the show.
Like episode 1. Like, I mean, do you think it could be Bucky though? Isn't there comic like lore where he was Captain America or becomes Captain America? Or, I'm
I
sure
think
they
so.
Both have like I don't really know.
I think that it could happen, or maybe some form of that. And I think there's definitely gonna be like both of them using the shield at a certain point. It's gonna be probably some fun stuff with that. But I mean, Captain America told Falcon it's him. He told Sam that it's yours. Like,
Yeah.
If anybody can pass the mantle, isn't it? It's Captain America.
I agree. Don't bitch out, Sam.
Yeah, show up. And now look, now someone else has the shield, so it's gonna be a whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts on Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I took some notes. So I'm just gonna
Please,
just
hit it.
fly through some of those. But did you guys notice that the villain that was in the plane at the beginning in that scene he was from the Winter Soldier movie, Baltrock the Leaper?
Yes, the guy that Captain America fights hand to hand in the Winter Soldier,
Yes.
like in the first 15 minutes on that ship.
Yeah, he's like a former UFC fighter, so I was like, that guy looks familiar, and I had to look it up, and I guess
He's the guy that says, "I thought you were more than a shield," and Cap puts down his shield, takes off his hat, and kicks his ass.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
But yeah,
Okay.
in the comics, he's like a experienced mercenary kickboxer, and I feel like his name is Batroc the Leaper, and he jumps out of 2 planes, so he earned his name. CBD
Yeah.
if he's alive. I mean, he was going down pretty hard out of that plane,
Yes.
and those squirrel suits are stressful.
Flying through
yes.
the caves, canyons, and mountains, and that was awesome.
Yeah, and I thought it was pretty cool to see Avengers in public get called out, when Sam was what, I don't know if that was a coffee shop or whatever, wherever he was, and the guy thanked him for saving his wife. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely some callbacks to Captain America, like I said, with that list. And then when Falcon jumps from the plane, he just falls backwards out of it. That's definitely a callback to Captain America and Avengers, and he's probably done that multiple times on screen. So
And it looked awesome.
yeah, and also Bucky talks about not having danced since 1943. That's kind of a callback to
All the dancing.
yeah, all the
Mhm.
the scenes. I think we talked about a few episodes ago about him talking to Peggy Carter, saying hitting on her jokingly, in one of the first, before her and Cap actually kind of got their full romance or whatever. So
And he does have a lot of baggage. Who's he gonna date?
I don't know.
It's gonna be tough.
It's fun.
Maybe he'll go back and pull what Captain America
don't
did and marry some girl in the 50s.
Yeah, I mean he's a good looking guy. Come on, just hey,
Oh,
hope you don't mind guys with metal arms.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah.
Also, I'll never take my gloves off.
It's
Swan.
it's cold.
Yeah.
It's oh,
That's all I got.
nice. PC Mike, any final thoughts on the show? Any predictions or anything? You guys can do that. We don't have to do predictions every time. We got 5 to go.
It just makes me excited because now they're all going to be a little different. It's not going to get stale. WandaVision was so out there, then this is totally different than WandaVision. So Loki's next, I think. That's going to be totally different.
Unbelievable.
At least
I had already forgotten.
they're keeping it fresh.
So did I.
I think they're keeping it fresh. So
That's well said. Well said. Man, it's so fun. I can't believe this. So yeah, after this, we'll have Loki, and then we have Black Widow, and then. We know.
Black
We know.
Widow will probably be pushed back a couple of years.
Yeah, push it 2 years.
Yeah.
All right, we can't wait. 5 more to go. So much fun. I think the first one was a hit. We're here for it. And let us know what you think. If you write us in before next week, we'd love to feature you during our review, during the meet of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We're going to take a quick break. Next up, it is time to change up multiverses. Head over to the DC universe and talk all about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You've heard others, but nothing could prepare you for the shameful stupidity that is the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Hear Imran,
So if you offend everyone at once, it's a wash. I've covered everybody.
Anthony,
Sorry, I was texting. Say that again.
and Rug Boy
Yeah, whenever there's a snowstorm, my slack hole tightens up.
as they talk over one another.
Just exactly the
John
same
Connor
as,
was the
as
fucking Terminator.
We're talking over each other. It's fine.
Sorry.
Swear
I had boobies.
and ask you for money.
Just give us the money.
Witness the hubris as they claim to be the world's authority on comic book movies.
Who's that?
Never said that. You've never said that.
Who cares? A jock said that.
Comic book, TV, movie reviews, news, and whatever they choose. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Campy, silly, goofy fun.
Seriously, people really listen to this.
Jock and Nerd.
The meat. Welcome back from the break. I'm your host, Logan. Mostly superheroes. Jam-packed episode today, fellas. With PC Mike and the Giggler. Just was knee deep in the MCU. With Captain America Civil War. Perfect transition right into the first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier. We're going to keep it going. Keep an eye on that MCU page on our website as we add more ratings and reviews to our library. It is time to move on to the DC universe. And I had a little help from a really great article from Vanity Fair. It's going to be linked in the description of today's episode. I highly recommend this read if you are looking for what happened with the Snyder Cut. Like, just a quick, like, what actually went down? Why did this movie get remade? Why was there a Snyder cut at all? I was really wanting to, like, kind of ground myself in that for today's episode because it's a big deal that this movie happened. So if it's okay with you guys, quick little intro.
Please do. I honestly didn't. I kind of know what you're about to say, and I didn't know this information to like.
This is
I didn't
basically
care- I didn't
taking.
care enough to.
This is
to look
basically
into it.
taking all of it and putting it down to like 10 sentences. All right. Again, big thanks to Vanity Fair. So here's the gist. In 2017, this movie Justice League comes out. All right. It comes out. It's released by Warner Brothers. Zack Snyder was the executive director. His wife, Deborah Snyder, executive producer. And in 2017, tragedy strikes. The Snyder family lose their daughter to suicide. She's 20 years old, and her name is Autumn. Zack Snyder walks away from the film due to this incident to go take care of his family, but also because of creative differences at Warner Brothers. It was a mixed bag, it seems like, but it was mostly because of his daughter. Just going to say, take care of his family. WB, the Warner Brothers CEO and chairman, Kevin, at the time, I don't think he is the CEO anymore, Kevin Tusahara,
Probably shouldn't be.
based on this, assigns watchdogs to the film after Snyder leaves in the form of DC Entertainment creative Geoff Johns and Warner Brothers co-production head John Berg. And he also adds Joss Whedon, who had left and walked away from the Avengers movies to come do this film. Do you remember this? He's an Avengers
Sort
guy.
of, yeah.
And so Joss Whedon comes on. Nutshell, everyone hates the movie. Everyone complains about it, including the fans. I think it did pretty lousy on Rotten Tomatoes. You can fact check me, PC Mike. I want to say it's like around a 42.
Yeah, it's 40s, I think.
And not only that, but there's major complaints about this team of people being harsh conditions. Josh Whedon making it real rough for Ray Fisher, who's in a current legal battle happening now. Gal Gadot had spoke out about Joss Whedon, working with him. Not really here to harp on it, but I'm just laying out what I read in this article. And right away, and for years, we start seeing this hashtag for people to release the Snyder Cut. It happened last week on HBO Max. Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut is out. It's 4 hours long, and it's here.
Wild.
Just a wild story.
Hey, Josh, is it like Whedon?
It's Joss.
Joss
Yeah.
Whedon.
You got to get it right. It's
with
Joss.
2 S's. Yes.
It's like you forgot a letter at the end of Josh.
Joss.
He
Whedon.
co-wrote Toy Story.
Well, I don't know what to say about that.
And, I mean, he wrote and directed The Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah, he's done some stuff.
He's done some stuff.
Buffy
And-
the Vampire Slayer, too.
And I don't, it's hard to like have an opinion, a really strong opinion about any of it if you weren't there.
Yeah, but, I mean, clearly actors Ray Fisher,
Yep.
Michelle Trachtenberg,
Probably Gal Gadot.
Charisma Carpenter, Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot,
Yes.
and Amber Benson all said he was awful.
And there was a bunch of things more in the article. I highly recommend, if you want to know more about this, read this article. There's a lot of things that you'll read about the writing style and the things that he was adding and how people around him were having to just kind of smile and be like, I think that this is wrong. Like people seeing it go downhill. Did you know that Zack Snyder has never even seen Justice League?
Good for him.
I believe
Never.
that for sure.
His wife was like, you can't, you shouldn't.
He'd make you so mad.
Yes.
That's good. I hope that's true.
I know.
Because there's so many
It's an-
questions like
Right.
about this movie, like if how much he really added or how much he was just like in reaction to fan theories and things
Exactly.
like that he just wanted to give to us.
Exactly.
I appreciate both sides, but
But you're right, Andy, because we talked about this, and we're going to get right into it right now. I want to know how we felt about this movie, and I want to know some general feelings. But we talked about how, like, there were some things about, I was finding myself comparing the films.
Oh, I think everybody does.
yeah.
Exactly. Because when has this ever been done? It's never happened. They've never remade a movie.
No, they've had like Lord of the Rings
Reboots.
came out with like the extended version.
Extended cut. There's more
Yeah.
scenes. But this was like, we remade the movie.
Well, we thought it was just going to be, hey, they added some scenes. But then comicbook.com, I think one of those guys said it's about 12%.
12%.
12. I think most of
Yeah.
the 12% just by watching
Andy,
was the Flash.
Andy knows I was counting out loud.
Yeah, every single.
And I just had it in my head about how long we were, and we got to about halfway through, and there was a scene that I recognized from the movie before, and I would just go 10%.
I think most of
Like,
them.
I just kind of knew. I was like, I think we're about 10%.
I think most of them were Flash scenes. It seemed like.
The Flash. There was also some crossover with the Batman and Momoa meeting scene.
Uh-huh.
Before we get into it, oh man, I'm really excited to talk about this. How did you feel, PC Mike, about this movie? I'm not gonna mess around. I want to hear what you think about this thing.
I want movies to be like this. This is a TV show that's a movie. It is 4 hours. I took an intermission.
Oh yeah.
I went to bed and then watched it the next day.
A lot of people have split it up. I've seen online a lot of people tweeting and on Instagram being like, I watched it. I'm finishing it tomorrow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And you loved it.
I paused it, went to the bathroom, got something to eat, came back a little bit, ate dinner, then came back. Like, it was a TV show in a movie format.
And you liked it.
Loved it.
You loved it.
Loved it.
Oh man, it's gonna be hard. Maybe we should do the ratings first. Did you guys already know what it is?
Like my rating?
I know what mine is.
I know what mine is.
Why don't we just do a round table rating real quick and talk about this
God.
movie? Let's just get out of the way.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
3.7.
Oh man.
I know. I was so excited to hear Mike's input the whole time.
I was going
why do you
between-
look at me, just rapid firing the guy.
I was
I'm looking right at him.
I was going back and forth between 3.6 and 3.7.
Yes.
And you just talking about it, and I feel like I got to be a stan a little bit. I pumped it up to 3.7.
This is awesome. I'm glad we're doing this first. Giggler, tell us how you talk about it. Just
Yeah,
talk about it.
I think a lot of people the only complaints I've seen is a lot of people saying that like the character still didn't get like that development, but like
Mhm.
I don't know. I agree that that's something that you can complain about, but like there weren't prior movies.
Yeah, I don't know if you. I think
yeah,
it's
there
hard.
there weren't prior movies for those characters, so like that's a lot to ask, even in a 4-hour movie. Like
Yes.
I don't know. That's just not a gripe that I had. I still enjoyed this movie so much from the start to finish, where I didn't really want it to end. Still,
Right.
even after 4
that's,
hours.
That's funny.
In
It's-
one sitting, like we didn't even break it up.
we didn't stop. The
I
only
was
time,
just
the,
like-
only thing we stopped for was when the food got delivered,
That's it. Yeah.
and that was good. Shout out to
K-pop.
K-pop. Whew. It's like
Yes, delicious
Chinese? Is it Chinese?
Korean?
Korean? Oh my God.
Yeah, bowls. They're so good.
That was the only time we stopped, though. And you're right. When this thing ended, and you're just watching those end scenes, you're just like, maybe there's one more.
I don't know.
Maybe there's one more. I was
But-
feeling myself think that.
I did go through the previews, like fast forward, or the ending credits, and like fast forward and see
all
if
the
there's
way
anything.
to really
Yeah,
double check
yeah,
yourself.
to see if there's
Yeah.
anything.
All right, so I got to give a rating.
I think you should. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give mine
So
too. I have mine.
I gave
Let's do
mine-
that first. We can talk about all of it.
directly after the movie. I said, rate it now. You're going to talk about this Monday. So 3.5.
Higher than I thought.
Yeah, I agree. I just like it was weird to me that even though the movie was 4 hours, that I still wanted it to not end. So I was like, I have to give that credit as a higher rating. Like I just didn't really have many complaints. I'm easy to please, as I've always said. Probably my lowest rating ever is like a 2.8. So, but this is still. I'm not gonna like. I went to rewatch it today, and I was so excited. And
Right. You're just like, I'm happy to hit play on this.
yeah. Just like me being a kid again. I'll just watch Batman movies on repeat, all of them.
How good was
Throw
the-
this in the
how
rotation.
good was Batfleck in this?
I thought
Awesome.
I thought he was great.
Kind of nailed it.
Yeah.
Looked amazing, that silver suit. All right. I'll give
Yeah.
my rating real quick.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. All right. So I said this before. I found myself doing like the comparison thing a lot. Poor Andy. I was out loud just being like,
It was helpful. I liked it.
But I just
No, no,
what was interesting to me was when like a line had been like removed, or like a simple line had been like switched out. I remember a lot of the dialogue from the first movie, and I was just like, that's interesting. So as like a fan that maybe watches these a lot, I thought, I bet there's others like out there like me too, just kind of like not being able to help doing that. But watching this movie, all I could think was, this is fucking awesome. Pardon my French. I don't cuss much on the show.
How did this not get your first shot?
And
Like-
this is my biggest question about the Snyder Cut. Like, I know there were reshoots. So, like, how much of it was the Snyder Cut? How much of it was after for things that have been redone? And how much does that even matter, really? Like, I mean, does it even matter? Because here's the thing. The movie's really, really good. And I just kept thinking, like, yep, this is all right. Yeah. I had some problems. I definitely have
Oh yeah.
an issue with. I want to talk about some stuff, but like with Darkseid, man, I was hoping for more. But I love the movie. Let me just give the rating, knock it out of the park here. It's a 3.6.
Whoa, we're all pretty high.
Look at us. I'm so happy.
Me too. I was thrilled with the experience. I really had like an experience watching this thing. It felt so cool. I told Danny this. I was like, when has any movie at a home premiere got me to get off my butt, drive to the Giggler's house, and like have just like I was like, let's just have like a movie night.
It's an event.
It's an event, and it felt like an event. I didn't want it to end. PC Mike, tell us more about what you were thinking.
I mean, like Andy said, would I like more character development? Yes, but can you do it in a 4-hour movie? No. But I thought they did a great job. Like,
so much more exposition for real.
With Cyborg. Awesome. He has a backstory now. Even more with the Flash, like him saving that girl. Was that in Justice League?
No.
That was an awesome scene. Him breaking the glass and going through and
the music
saving her.
Perfect.
Aquaman, that's the one big thing I've seen online. People are like, Aquaman wasn't as good. Like, he was just kind of meh. I liked him. He was fine. But I think the reason I kept liking this movie and like not wanting it to end is because something new was happening every 30 minutes. Like,
yes.
Oh, this is happening. Here's a backstory. Here's a backstory. Here's a backstory. Oh, guess what? We're going to add the most famous superhero of all time now to the show. Here's Superman.
And you're waiting on it the whole time. You're just like, Steph kept saying it. She's like, when are they going to get my man on the screen? I'm like, I'm with you. Let's get this black suit going.
Yeah.
It looked fantastic.
Awesome.
That was great that we watched it with someone that didn't even realize until like an hour in the movie that he'd never seen even the original Justice League before.
God, that was a funny moment.
My roommate
Don't
Mike.
go back. Don't go back.
No,
Yeah.
I was like, it was a light bulb went off in my head. I was like,
oh yeah,
you
there's
are.
people-
I was like, you're having the best experience out of all of us because you're just seeing the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a buddy text me and say, hey, Mike, hasn't this been made before? I said, whoa. I said, how much time you got?
Mike, our buddy Mike, that's been on the show, he texted me the same thing. He's like, was this? I feel like I saw this. I was like, yeah, it was a remake.
You saw 12%.
Well, I say remake, but they advertise it as like this other cut.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the truth: they did reshoots. Yeah. They added some more stuff, which is fine. At this point, are there cheat? Like, I mean, the movie was made, and then they made a second one, so it happened.
Yeah.
And I think I differ from you just a little bit with Darkseid.
Yeah, I really want to talk about this.
I thought it was cool how they did integrate him like here and there.
Yeah,
like he wasn't a player, but he's like, Steppenwolf's gonna mess this up, huh? Like
that guy.
and like
I
kind
love
of
that
just
guy.
like in the. But it was different than I think. I liked it because these movies, I feel like DC tries to mirror Marvel a lot.
Yeah.
And Marvel hasn't really done that. Like they did the Thanos like end credit scenes, but they didn't like put like basically like little end credit scenes in the movie, like giving you those breadcrumbs, those teasers,
Yeah,
and little things like that.
I know what you mean.
Like I thought that was cool because it set up other movies that probably maybe won't happen.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot like seeing Thanos in like in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
You know, you're seeing like the mission behind the mission and setting up the bigger mission. Here's all I'll say about it. It wasn't definitely. I'll tell you this. It definitely wasn't even a complaint. It was. Said this to you, Andy, when we were at your house. This movie has been set up to be like the one-time Snyder cut, and like it's not part of any universe. But I'm like, here's the thing, man. If you're not setting up sequels for this movie, I mean, of course you are. You're introducing characters like Ryan Choi. Let's just get it out of the way. Martian Manhunter is in this movie. Like, not in the first one. Like, this character is going to be doing something. And to me, I thought this was going to be a one-time thing. So I thought that the big Darkseid fight was happening. So to see it not happen and to see them, like, I mean, it was cool. It was like, see you at another time. He's like, I'm not coming in right now.
He's like, I'm like scouting you.
Yes. And he was pissed, too. Yeah. I will say this, too. I like this Darkseid. I think he looked cool. I think he sounded awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know anything about Darkseid prior to this.
So, Mike, I'm definitely not complaining. The thing is, if I don't see this Darkseid on screen again, then I'll be sad.
Well, I know I said that like there might not be sequels, but there is some glimmer of hope, and I think it was in the Vanity Fair article. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Zack Snyder said, what do you think is more realistic? Them to give me $70 million to do edits or have a sequel to this?
Yes. And
he's like, that's a lot less more. Like, that's never been done.
And I said it. I've said this a couple times in this show. Warner Brothers isn't like in the game of charity.
No,
they're not here to be like, here's all this money. Yeah, cool. We'll just have this. You know, it's really nice. We're just nice. This is an investment.
And I hate to say it, I get why they went on with my not my boy Joss. Like, I get why they pushed it out. I do. It's money. It's a money grab. They
Yeah.
almost made $1 billion with that crap movie. Like, I get it. But now you give me this and you're just going to stop?
Can you pull something up for us while we're talking? I want to know the streams. The streams.
I don't.
Like, do we know the amount of
yeah.
streams?
Or how many extra obviously it's gonna be off for this probably, but like HBO Max subscribers in the last like week.
Somebody has written it already. I guarantee there's
Yeah.
an article pretty top in the search results of like streams and subscriptions. That seems to be the new metric. Instead of like
So-
watching cable, it's like streams and subscriptions is the new thing.
It says, like, I don't know if these are valid sites, but like 100,000 times in 3 days.
100,000 in 3 days. Okay.
And then this
Because
is
it,
like a
it
lot.
dropped on. No, it doesn't sound like that many because, well, I don't. Yeah, 100,000 doesn't sound
I'm
like that
2
many.
of those, so
We can all.
it's not a lot.
We all got these little computers
I
right
don't
here.
know, Zach.
You go. Take your time for a minute, because so
but-
while we're doing this, we can also do some just like other top moments of the film. But Andy, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, well, just that we're talking about like the different versions of everything like that, and I just saw the other day today that there's a Justice is Gray alternate version that's coming out in a couple weeks.
What?
That's in black and white
No,
and has different scenes with the Joker.
No, it
supposedly.
doesn't.
Yes,
and it
It's
probably when
this-
he's wearing that one outfit from the photos.
I'm pretty sure it's I think it's that scene will have different. Maybe they won't talk about like a reach around because that was the weirdest part of the whole movie.
yeah.
I just remember scratching my head, and then I saw it second time around. I was like, "What? Why was that in there?"
All right, PC Mike's got it.
I think this is just from India alone. And it was like, book my show stream. I don't know. I don't know if the numbers are out yet for HBO. Like,
They don't have anything on this
US.
yet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's probably fair. I mean, because it's an interesting thing. Like, how often do they release these updates? We'll keep you apprised. Maybe we'll keep that as part of next week.
I mean, Vulture has an article March 18th that came out that says the title is just "The Snyder Cut has already done its job for HBO Max,"
I believe that.
and that was March
Oh
18th.
my gosh, I bet, and everybody's talking about it. So many people. I mean, I'm telling you, it's funny to see the people that like text you about certain movies. Like, this is one that a lot of friends reached out and was like, "I'm watching this today. Like, this, I've heard this is pretty. What's the deal with what's the deal with this thing? Like, not knowing the backstory, and of course, us nerds, we've known about this Snyder Cut hashtag and petition. I mean, the fans made this happen, and Warner Brothers did allow it to go. I mean, I'm in, man. Can we get more stuff? I want more stuff.
Yeah, I don't think they have numbers yet, but I mean, people are saying. I mean, it's the biggest thing HBO Max has had.
All right, we'll keep you updated on that. Let's talk about some top moments that happened in this thing. I'll tell you right now, my favorite line of the movie, Cyborg. Fuck the world.
Fuck the world. Yeah.
I mean, that was like, oh my God. They went this was a totally different story.
I felt like though they added the 2 F-bombs in the movie just to be like, hey, we got to get an R.
What
What can we do? What can we
What
do?
was the other one?
Batman talking to Joker.
That's right. Yeah, at the end.
yeah.
At the end.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. So, what is this fever dream that he why is he having these visions?
I mean, the rumor is.
It shouldn't be a big deal, but why do I care about that?
I mean, the rumor is it would be explained in the sequels, but
I mean
I don't-
that kind of makes sense because in the Flash, what was that Batman vs Superman, the Flash scene where he pops into
yes.
and says Lois is the key.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Barry
and
pops in, says Lois is the key.
So how does that relate to that last scene? I'm trying to.
Well, because the last scene they talk about Lois. I think she's dead in that
I mean,
Vision.
I think a lot of people are dead in that Envision.
yeah. There's only,
Aquaman, Wonder Woman, they're all dead.
Yes. Oh, remember Andy? That was the part where remember the part where it flashed over before the. So now I'm jumping all over the place. That's the end sequence. Is the fever dream. But the part about Wonder Woman, whenever the Flash runs back in time, rewinds everything, because before he did, they lost.
Yeah.
The Justice League lost, right?
Yeah, that was.
And the world.
You called it
it's
too.
blown
I'll
up.
give you 100% credit. It was like an hour into the movie, and he goes, "Yeah, we're gonna see Speed Force. He's gonna turn back time." And I was like,
Called it.
You got to go, Barry.
I didn't even think about that.
Called
I
it
was-
immediately. I was like, if this is that long, they've showed so much of the Flash in this, and I mean, and here's the thing. Yeah, that's got to go straight to Flashpoint. I mean, you know, how does it not? Like that, the Flashpoint movie's coming. We're seeing this. Like you're gonna tell me these events aren't gonna be in my head? Who's not watching this? We got people watching this that don't even know about the first movie.
Exactly.
Is the first movie just gone?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
like, what's canon?
I think it's not determined yet, but the WB president supposedly like shot down some sequel theories today, but that doesn't. I mean, that
if the
doesn't mean shit.
people want it,
Yeah.
apparently we can get it.
We can change Sonic's eyes. We can get this. We're getting
We can get Sonic better teeth.
Let's start the hashtag here. Release the Snyder Cut.
Somebody
Part 2.
has. They've started a new one already. There's already another hashtag out there.
Fine, do its job.
I mean, look at that
Make it.
picture. Hey, and if you're not watching this on YouTube, you should, because the graphics are flat awesome.
Well, and you get to see us three.
You don't want to see that. You want to see these graphics.
Or if you're not doing that, you should look at the Instagram, which looks snazzy as hell right now.
Yeah.
Put the work in the Instagram.
I literally every few hours I log on and I just go look at it because I'm like, what do you do now?
It is pretty.
And here's the thing. That's how it looks now. I appreciate.
But look
that.
at this. Look at this ensemble.
Yes, look at this.
Who would
thing.
you trade out for somebody else?
The only
like any actor.
The only one is probably. I mean, you're right. I almost said Jason Momoa, but the truth is,
I
here's
think he's good.
here's the truth. I think he's way better in this than he is in Aquaman. I think Aquaman's probably like his weakest movie because he's just so goofy and he's better in the Justice League.
I mean,
movies.
dream casting. I guess I trade Ray Fisher for Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
But, like,
it'd be great. You always want
yeah.
always want Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Ray Fisher is a redemption. This movie's a redemption for Cyborg.
More like Cryborg.
Yeah.
Oh, so what I was saying earlier about when Barry's running back, there's that where the world ends, the world got blown up. Wonder Woman's just in a casket, getting like burned at the thing. Remember, Andy?
Yes.
Andy literally out loud just goes, "I don't know what is happening,"
No.
because it went from them fighting Steppenwolf to like all of a sudden the world's burning. It looked amazing.
There are side by sides, and you can see like Wonder Woman versus Steppenwolf, and like just the difference is just, I guess that's worth $70 million.
And he looks totally different. And although you see him a lot, you see Steppenwolf like visit that guy. Like he has like 3 meetings that you witness. But like he looks amazing.
Yeah,
And-
much better.
Well,
And a character I actually cared about what was like kind of happening. And let's just talk about the end scene whenever he gets his head chopped off
Awesome.
as they send it through the portal back to
and they're
Darkseid.
watching. And they're watching.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
his
that was
head,
cool.
that was amazing. So much violence, a lot
I
of
loved
blood.
it. I really wanted it like to see where, I think this happened in Avengers, so that's maybe why. But just where the portal closes on his head and it just chops it right off.
Right.
So one part stays on Earth, one part stays wherever he's at.
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you for explaining the mother boxes to Zack Snyder, what they actually were and stuff like that.
Oh.
Like giving a little backstory.
And like, Superman yelling, of course. Like this is like it was like that was the signal of like these things are waking up. People know. Instead of just being like, the mother boxes.
Where have these been for 5,000 years?
That's a deleted scene from Batman vs Superman. So that's one of the things that you could specifically say was it Snyder original idea, not like him adjusting to fan theories, adding stuff, whatever. If that was something that was done in the reshoots, but
Right. You're saying like that was definitely him.
yeah, which that's cool.
But just thank you. Like even loving DC.
Wow, Cyborg's mom. Maybe we can actually meet her.
Yeah. And why does he have this grudge against his dad?
Yeah, what is he so like it's why
Well, probably.
well-
I don't like how he's like, you killed mom when his dad wasn't even there. I was like, well, that's not your dad.
and we actually got to see him become Cyborg
Yeah.
finally. That was cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's like a whole cyborg movie in this movie.
There
Like, that's
is.
just-
Yes, it is. And that recording from his dad
And when he like went back and like
and then finished it and was like, I'm gonna talk to you as my son now. I was so good.
Flash and his dad. I mean
Oh.
the Flash was the best part of the original Justice League, I thought. And I thought he was still really well.
Second favorite line of the movie. We finally have a plan. And I thought that was like for us. I thought that was like for the fans that were just like, yeah, the Justice League like has a plan instead of just like, oh, Steppenwolf's up in wherever, and then cut to the ships flying in.
We found him at this nuclear plant that no one goes to. Did he do battle talk in this one though?
No,
That was my favorite.
no, you know what they did? They ran in and they go. Batman goes, Barry, get everyone out of here. And then he just starts running them out. And it's one of my top moments. Him running, saving all those people was like a lightning storm in the sky.
I did like the battle one from the original. It was like, you guys know how to battle. I'm not a big battler.
Yeah, but I also thought it was kind of lame because he was like, save one person. And I was like,
He's the Flash.
You signed up. You're the Flash.
Yeah.
And I liked how this one was more of just like, get in there and go do it.
Yeah.
Fight right there with Wonder Woman and Steppenwolf. So great.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what else that caught my eye. I already said the Martian Manhunter.
I mean, how they did the end scenes, that was cool.
Yeah,
Instead of
so
like
they
an
just
credit scenes,
they
just
just
kind of did like little catch-up stories. Of
it
every
just brought
character.
you in. They did the one with Lex Luthor, which they modified.
Yeah, because in the original, we didn't see him that he just wasn't in Arkham anymore. Right?
No, we did. We saw
did.
that same scene. That guy turns around, he's laughing. What's different is
it's a longer
is
scene.
the scene that I made fun of.
Yeah.
Whenever we talked about it, and I said this, like when Slade Wilson's like, "What do you want, Lex Luthor?" I was like, "Come on, you didn't have a reason to be out there." Like I was like, I don't think he would ever do that. In this one, they changed it, and he's like, he comes for a specific thing. He's like, I heard you were picking up a team to take on the Bat or something like that, because that's what he wants is the Bat. And I'm like, yeah, a reason.
And then he tells him his name. He's like, oh, maybe I will have a glass of champagne.
Yes, he goes. He's let me help you out. He's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
that was cool. Then I was like, yeah, all right.
But then I was also confused when he was with Batman.
I know
in that dream sequence.
That's what makes us need another movie or a show or something, please.
That was literally just like stuck on the end. Like he's just having this dream.
Like just connecting those two dots that you just said could be an amazing story.
Yeah, because like were they a team and then Batman did something?
So let's talk about this end sequence and like what actually we see. So we have a whole band of folks. Batman, with the coat from the Flash sequence in BVS, right?
Yeah.
Same one. Got the goggles.
Dream sequence, yeah.
Looks amazing. It's almost like Batman meets Mad Max. I always love this. Yeah. This post-apocalyptic like world. You got Cyborg. You got Barry and like the full time travel stuff. It's got like a face shield. You got Slade Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said.
No patch? Did he not have a patch?
Right. What did he?
I think he did.
He did, right?
Yeah, he
had to.
Mira was there too.
Mira from Atlantis.
That's one thing people are ripping online.
Like, why is she there?
Yeah, and like her accent, maybe.
Oh,
yeah, I saw.
Why would you be upset? Who cares?
I saw something.
I'm saying to these people that like are upset about that part.
Well, I think people
look at me. I'm already getting defensive about it. I must have really liked this movie.
People have turned on her.
3.6.
She could have had an Oscar-winning performance. I think people would turn on her. The internet hates her right now.
Oh yeah,
because of all the Johnny Depp stuff.
I don't know about the Johnny Depp stuff.
We don't have time in this podcast probably to go through.
Go look it up.
Weird thing where she like pooped in his bed or something.
Yeah. Get out of here.
There's some stuff, and then like she took pictures of him doing stuff.
That's gonna be the first thing I do when we get done today.
Well, see you tomorrow because you're gonna go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
that's all right. Maybe we'll talk about it next week.
But yeah, they're like in a post-apocalyptic world.
Yes.
It's almost like a Suicide Squad out there. Like
yes, it's like it's similar to it's kind of similar to that game trailer that we talked about months back for that Suicide Squad game. But dude, yeah, it's and then also who else is there?
Joker,
and then Joker.
His laugh was better. I guess.
Tell me what you guys thought of this Joker.
Better. I mean, still no Heath Ledger, but better.
Yeah, he looked better. He's not going to give me any nightmares, that's for sure. So that's all I care about, you know.
And then there was that weird line
about the reach around.
About the reach around.
Yeah. I think they had to add it to BR, maybe.
I don't know.
And then he talks about killing Robin.
See, that was some closure.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Even though it's a dream sequence, Futureland, but I guess that means it's like something.
He's like, pick what you say next.
Yeah, and then he says the F-bomb.
Yeah.
But that would have already happened before Justice League.
See, are we like jumping timelines because of Flash and like he's trying to fix things?
No, there's no question here, right? This is a future. This is like a possible future.
A possible.
They directly talk about it too, because he says, You're too much of a coward to let yourself die."
Yes.
And that was how many alternate realities are you going to take? So like I feel like
yes, it's like how many, and it was like, oh my god, are we seeing a second one? Like this is just changing. Like the picture's changing.
Like he's trying to correct something and keeps going back with the Flash. Like we got to go back. We got to go back.
And like you said, Andy or Mike, that Vanity Fair article talks specifically about. Snyder was quoted to say, there was supposed to be this love story between Bruce Wayne and Lois Lane. in a post Superman world where he's dead, to where like he decides because of how much he loves this woman that he even had Snyder was quoted what Batman's lines were. Bruce Wayne talking to Alfred. He said something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing, something along the lines of, I've never had a reason to like hang up the cape or to bring people together. And he's like, the love of this woman has changed my whole life. And then he decides to bring Superman back to life. Like that's like
Man, but you don't
from
even,
Snyder.
You hardly see Batman and Lois like there's.
Well, they didn't do it though. But maybe
Maybe
long road, maybe.
Yeah.
But now Superman's back though, so I think that's just washed.
But like in that cutscene, they're hiding from him, right?
Yeah, and he shows up
PO'd.
mad and bad.
It's wild. I don't know.
Well, here's the so that first nightmare scene or whatever that was when Cyborg touched the mother box. Is that right? I can't remember the timing of that one, but some of the weird,
yes, good call, Andy. That's a really good call. He
So-
does the mother box thing in the ship when they're bringing Superman back to life, and Cyborg has a vision of that future with
Yes.
Wonder Woman. That's when we didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
Whenever she's like burning, the world's burning.
And he's like, "Stop. We don't need to do this."
Well, some of the
yes, and he's like, it's a bad idea.
and then Barry's like, "Go."
And Barry goes, and like,
So maybe Cyborg saw the future and it wasn't what they needed. So like opposite Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
why did he have? Where are these visions coming from? Because Cyborg's having them now.
He's a computer. I mean, he isn't.
Is it Barry time traveling? Is it something with the Speed Force? Like, I mean,
I
I just
think-
see some reasons. I guess I'll tell you that's a hole for me. That's not really being filled just yet.
So some of the things that were in that first like vision or whatever was, I think it was when Superman was like levitating over the broken Justice League sign. So
Yep.
I think he
Mhm.
had Batman's cowl in his hand.
Yes, he
Um,
did.
You could see a ripped Joker card. So potentially that's connecting those events to this event being after this nightmare sequence that was the end of the movie, the epilogue.
Yeah, the epilogue.
That's kind of a crazy connection that could potentially be there. So like, I don't know.
Yeah,
how
no,
that would all
I-
work, but obviously there's a lot.
well, and
that
that's the
goes
biggest thing.
wrong
It's
in that time
unquestioned.
period.
What did you say? Warner Brothers said about they disputed some sequel theories
Andy said that today.
that like they were already saying like no or something. Like
That
I mean,
was comicbook.com.
but
article
Snyder
today, but, like,
said-
at the same time,
But Snyder said, like, what's more unrealistic?
Exactly.
Them to give me a sequel or them to have me go back and give me $70 million to remake this? That's
So-
never been done. Sequels have been done. This has never been done.
did you guys have any problems with the film that you want like that are worth noting? I'll mention that too. Like we can nitpick all day.
Nothing huge. I'm trying to think.
I know. I'm looking too. I said the only thing I really had was and it wasn't even a diss on the movie. It was really more about the dark side and just that aspect. But other than that, I mean, there was still some corniness, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they were again just some of the things they like took out and stuff. I thought were funny, like the part where Jason Momoa like says bye to Batman, and he's like, "You're crazy, Bruce Wayne," and he goes in the water. Well, in the first movie, he like jumps like
Yeah.
an idiot and like looks like an idiot. And this one, it's just gone.
Yeah.
So I was like, so was that cut?
Probably.
they should have cut that weird song from those people.
They were singing
Right after that,
he
yeah.
left
Yeah.
for a long time.
That was weird.
I didn't. I liked all the music. There was a lot of slow motion.
Maybe Zack Snyder did see this movie and he's like, hey, that's the first thing we are cutting, is how he jumped in the water.
He's like, that's the first thing to go. So I was never going to do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of slow motion.
Yeah.
But I
Good
mean,
action.
good action. I mean, here's the thing about the slow motion. It was enough to where I was noticing it. I was like, that's a lot of slow motion. But again, the movie's 4 hours long, so it's already long.
Mhm.
I thought it looked great though.
I did too. I mean, Steppenwolf for 180, a lot better.
Story
really
was
was
good.
great.
Story was there. That
Yeah.
was it. They gave context for everything. Like that was the biggest thing, was just explaining things a little bit further.
And you got to think, Marvel had 20 movies to tell their story. Great. Not taking anything away from that.
well, you can't, because it's an achievement. in
They
itself.
basically had one movie to do everything
well
without Batman versus
You say that, but that's also like saying like I'm the one that messed up my bed, and it's like You know, like they're
Yeah.
they're the ones that made the first movies, and like they
I
could
know.
have taken their time and done like better. So they should have done a solo Batfleck movie.
But I'm
But
saying,
I hear what you're saying.
like 3 hours and 45 minutes, let's call it. And they did a pretty good job of putting everything in there.
well, and here's the pressure that was on this movie. Really, was that it wasn't just that the Justice League movie sucked. It's that everything's had problems.
Mhm.
So it was like, hey, can Zack Snyder really come in and make something that's better than everything we've seen,
everything he's done
everything he's done,
in the DC world.
and everything we've seen? Like in terms of like, because it's like DC people are like, yeah, but we know about being let down. We've been let down for years. Is this movie gonna make us happy? I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah. I think it did its job, just like that article said.
I think it did too. It's a good movie.
I don't know if this means anything. Do you know the epilogue title? A Father Twice Over.
That was Cyborg's a line from his dad in the tape.
Anything to do with Bruce and Lois?
I don't know. What do you mean?
I don't know. I mean, that's
Bruce
the,
and Lois.
That's the
theory-
rumor.
theory you talked about earlier.
What do you mean a father
Zack-
twice over though?
He's going to be a father. Him and Lois.
Well, Lois had a there's a scene where she had a pregnancy test. I didn't catch that the first time, so I saw it in like
What?
the breakdown. So
In this movie?
at
In
the
this-
yeah,
in
we
this-
are we are supposed to believe at the end of the movie that she's pregnant with Superman's kid.
Oh, she had a pregnancy test in the Snyder cut?
Yeah.
I missed
missed
that.
that
I missed it till I watched that YouTube video I saw you guys.
Are you kidding me? So she's like got a
Emergency
baby
Awesome.
coming.
Emergency Awesome is the channel. They have
Okay.
a lot
Plug
of
'em.
good breakdowns that help with this stuff for sure. And that was one of the things I did not. Obviously, we would have both been like, "Oh yeah, look at that."
I
But
can't
we
believe I
just-
missed it. Yeah.
It was like towards the end, so I think everyone just kind of like, okay, there's not gonna be like anything like that going on. But
Here's
yeah.
here's the part I wanted to hash out. I was very curious. I mean, the introduction of Martian Manhunter was insane. He was shapeshifted into Martha Kent, visiting Lois Lane and asking her questions about. I don't really remember exactly.
about going back to work. 'Cause she's like, "Oh, you haven't been to work for this
Yeah,
long." They told me.
Yes.
So it's like maybe
just checking in on
just
her.
trying to.
And that's always been
keep-
his role. You guys said you weren't that familiar with the character.
Yeah, please explain because I don't.
From what I know, just from the Justice League cartoons I watched growing up, and also from Smallville, they had this character on screen. It's John Jones, the Martian Manhunter. He's from Mars. He's like a sole survivor scenario. There's some people. He's actually been played on screen on the Supergirl in the Arrowverse on Supergirl, and on Crisis on Infinite Earths. They have a Martian Manhunter.
Yep.
And in Smallville too, it's always been like a supporting role for like a Kryptonian. So like he's in the show on Supergirl, he helps her out.
Yeah.
And in Smallville, he was like, "I'm here to help you, Kal-El." So like he's showing up to Batman's house now, and he's like, "I'm around. Some call me the Martian Manhunter." Thought that was kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't need that. Or if you do, just say like, "My name is
Mhm.
the Martian Man." His name is John Jones. He has a name.
Some
call me.
Some gave me this crappy nickname.
Yeah.
But he looks dope, looks amazing. But he is entangled with Lois Lane? Superman's dead? You just checking in? Does he know something?
I don't know.
He also showed up when Bruce was having that fever dream. Am I looking too
yeah.
deep? I don't know.
I went down a rabbit hole as you were talking. And a father twice over. Let's look at the cast that you
Please
have up there.
lay it on us. Let's get into it.
Flash has a little bit of a father problem, correct?
Yes.
Superman had a picture of his dad with him when he was dead. Right?
And we get lines from both his dads when he's in the ship picking his suit.
Yeah.
Cyborg has a little bit of a dad issue, right?
Big.
Bruce, his father's death caused him to be Batman, and maybe he's going to be a father. And then Aquaman and his father. All of them have daddy issues somewhere.
Damn.
Yeah.
Besides Wonder Woman. I don't
Aquaman
know.
literally says, "I'm gonna go see my father" at the
Yeah.
end. Like it leads into, of course, which is like that was a Marvel move. Like what's happening next with this character? Aquaman.
He sees his father. Flash sees his father. Cyborg listens to his father. What is going on with the dad stuff?
What's going on with daddy issues?
Yeah.
Is Warner Brothers just tripling down on daddy issues?
I don't
And
know.
did Marvel follow? Is that the formula of Marvel? Like Tony did.
I don't know.
Cap. We don't really know anything about
That's
Cap's
a
parents.
whole other episode. I think we'll have to do.
Dad, superhero dads, and why they cause so much issues. All right, Mike. I think you're onto something. But
Yeah,
like here's the thing though. I'm so nervous because now it's like you've set a precedent.
Yeah.
A couple precedents once, actually. You remade a movie. I don't know what the ramifications are of that long term, like with other studios. Like, you can be doing this left and right.
Yeah.
Like, but also, it was a separate cut, fine. But now that you've done this, I really appreciate it. I give it 3.6 for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I really want some more. I mean, I'm like, let's go. This had Watchmen vibes, like, which is Snyder. I mean, it was good. Like, I was like, show me the next scene. Let's go.
So can we talk? What are we getting next? I mean, Aquaman 2's greenlit, right?
Aquaman 2,
Flash.
Flashpoint movie. We know there's gonna be a Supergirl in that.
That's
We
good.
also have Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Not a Batman, not Batfleck, but Pattinson.
Pattinson. Peacemaker on HBO. A Green Lantern television series on HBO.
And they did. I like the tease. I know it was in the first Justice League, but with room for more. With room for more. That was kind of corny. Too,
And
but
will this tie
Yeah.
to Titans?
I don't think so.
It's on HBO.
Oh, I have
True.
a kind of a theory on that.
Let's hear it.
So
If not now.
I think the Flash movie, obviously doing like this Flashpoint storyline, is going
Yes.
to change and open up a lot of things, kind of like the multiverse and Marvel is changing things right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that kind of like in the Crisis on Infinite Earths storyline, where they kind of teased like all of these shows being canon in like kind of the same world universe now. I think that basically Flashpoint is going to do that, maybe just kind of confirm that on a higher level
Yeah.
to where
It's going to set up.
connect
Everything.
everything, even back to like Christian Bale, Batman, Christopher Reeve, Superman. Everything is going to be like,
And they tried to do this
different.
on Crisis on Infinite Earths, but it's going to be different.
yeah, but I wonder what percentage of people have seen that versus like
right. This.
that watch this.
Exactly. So now they do something similar on this bigger scale. They can do a kind of a reset of like, this is where everything fits
Mhm.
now.
Connect Flashpoint to the Snyder Cut, and it's going to be just madness.
And
Think of,
hey-
like the hype that will create, and that's exactly
Michael
use
Keaton
that,
is in it.
be the
And
same.
And Batfleck.
I think that opens up
Batfleck is confirmed in it.
a
Yeah,
lot
I'm
of
on
it.
the IMDb right now.
Yeah.
For it's just called The Flash right now.
If they
Cool
do
title.
that, like think of the fans that would come from maybe like people like I don't know, like our parents that saw that movie, but doesn't have any interest in seeing this.
You
Like,
you
they
pull
might
in
get-
all the audiences back and you get them all on the same page.
Yeah,
Okay. I like it. I mean, I hope that's what I would love to happen.
that could be their thing. I don't know. I'm just guessing, but
I'm just saying, it'll be a real shame if we don't get to see this dark side again
100%.
because that's a good villain. I was on board. He looked pretty dope. He had Thanos vibes for sure. I'd love to see those two fight. That'd be awesome.
I think
Oh,
we're,
yeah.
we're forgetting the big DC property that's getting ready to come out too, Black Adam.
Black Adam with the Rock.
I don't
the,
know where that
the
ties
sequel
in.
to sequel to Shazam. I mean, it
We got a lot of stuff out there.
but I just hope they can do it right. My hopes are
Back to being
they're a little higher than they were before I saw this.
they're
Well,
A
a
lot
lot
higher.
higher. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
it's
actually
about-
seen what they could do. for
Because like
one.
my heart has been broken so many times, and that Justice League movie was like the.
Yep.
I was like, okay, I'm done.
Mhm.
And I've said since then, converted MCU fan. I'm still, MCU. I mean, look at this. They're just a train that won't stop. But this, the Snyder cut, man, it got me excited again. I was
Different-
jazzed watching this thing. I was like, that's a Superman in a black suit. This is my favorite part about that sequence. It wasn't just like he came back to life and he had his black suit on. That's like how they would have done it the first time
Mhm.
around. It was, no, he has several suits. And he's gone through something and he chose the suit.
Mhm.
He chose it. So I was like, that's how you do that. And it looked amazing. I love the scene. Man of Steel vibes. I
Yeah.
remember Andy, he flew up and he's just sitting there in the sun.
that was an awesome shot.
Awesome shot. Me and Andy just stopped. We just like looked at each other. I was like, this movie's dope.
Mhm.
Any other thoughts, guys? We can wrap it up. I'll say I'm going to give it up for it.
Yeah. Pleasantly surprised.
yes.
Listener, let us know what you thought. I can't wait to read more about what people say about it. That was one of the biggest things I was kind of looking at before, just kind of curious what people out there are saying. In general, I think it's been well received. I don't know does it have like a Rotten Tomatoes like so far?
Yeah, it's like 70s.
in the 70s.
75. IMDb's 8.4.
I feel like that's really good. And I know that like there's been other people saying like There's been a lot of talk about the violence in it. I know there was like heavier blood scenes, which I was all about. I thought that was cool.
I think that's what they need to do.
You got to be harsh too. That's part of DC.
I think you go R. I think you go R on your movies.
You've already been trying to go dark. You've just been like dancing around it.
Yeah, and Deadpool should have shown you the way that you can still make $1 billion being R.
You think everybody feels like this? All the fans like us?
I think most. You don't think most?
You think that there's people that still are hating on it? You think,
I mean, people were complaining that it was in 4:3 or whatever. And
okay,
like
we didn't really
sides.
talk about that. It was in 4:3 the whole time. I only noticed it a few times. Like a few times, I was like, okay, it's a square.
Yeah.
But overall, though, I don't care.
Yeah,
No.
I noticed for the first like 10 minutes.
I'm still kind of confused as why.
I think there was like a artistic. That's where he wanted you to look. It didn't. I don't know. That's why I kind
They said it was part of his vision.
Yeah.
That's what it opens with.
But then everyone's like, your vision's on TVs now, not on theater screens.
Yeah.
True.
I don't know.
If you watch that on a square TV, it'd probably fit. You
Yeah.
put it in 4:3. It might be a different experience. You just get a square television.
Let's watch the black and white one.
Oh my god! So that's really happening.
On a square. Yeah, it's real.
What is it?
So it's called the Justice is Gray
and it's
Snyder cut.
Is it any different
It's
though? Or is it just black and white?
So it's black and white, and supposedly, I read this on Twitter. I can't remember the source, but they said that it's gonna just have different scenes with the Joker.
Okay,
So
all
that's
right.
like a very small part. I mean, I'm not gonna watch this movie in black and white. I will
No,
find
it's-
what scenes are different and go watch them. But like, I don't want to watch. Like,
You'll
I
just.
don't-
I mean, I might put it on, and
Yeah.
just it can just run or something in the background. But
yeah. Why?
that's a lot to watch just for a
black
few
and
extra
white?
minutes.
Yeah. Why?
Maybe it's probably a test of like, let's see how many people watch it again. All right. Well, we'll keep you posted on the news. Yeah, listener, viewer, let us know what you thought of this movie. Did you enjoy it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you lukewarm on it? Write us at mostlysuperheroes.com/contact or join us in the Mostly Superheroes Squad Facebook group for exclusive combos. We'll be having a post about this. Spoiler filled. Get some theories out there. I want to hear what people think about this thing. I want to hear some more discussions, and I want to hear from the WB to see what's next. And is there anything next, or is this it? Any final thoughts?
Just don't screw it up. Just why? I don't know why they would want to capitalize on this. If it's not for the only reason would be it just if the people aren't willing to come back. I feel like a lot of these actors have had controversy surrounding their status. Like you see an article here and there all the time, like Henry Cavill out as Superman, but like then he's back in,
Then he's back.
and you just I don't know.
Money
Yeah.
talks.
Yeah,
Money
I agree.
talks.
That's
and,
where I'm not. I'm
And
not
now they
too
have
worried.
HBO.
Yes, they do. And HBO
Doesn't
me-
put out bad stuff.
again. I just don't see a world where they just did this for fun.
I concur.
Here's a question.
All right.
I mean, you're on the interweb.
Yeah.
You kind of dabble in it. You do some things on there. Just me personally, get on Twitter and looking at this. I would say, if for superhero talk, over 95% was talking about this. Less than 5 was talking about Falcon Winter Soldier.
Well, I thought about that. I thought about that coming into it also. There's just like a lot more, like the Falcon Winter Soldier episode 1 is just a
I know.
small percentage of kind of like the overall thing with Marvel. So I'm like pacing it. This was an event that like it's been years building up to this one thing.
But take
I'll say
yourself
that.
back 11 weeks
Yeah.
when WandaVision came out.
Yeah.
Dominated everything.
It's true. I'll tell you this. If you're just asking me personally, I'll tell you this is giving me more feels than anything so far from the MCU this year.
Yeah.
I mean, but WandaVision can't take away the special way that I do appreciate it. And I know that it's a longer play too. It's like, I'm watching it for the big movies with Multiverse of Madness, and I know the payoffs for WandaVision are coming.
Sure.
So it's just different because even though this is 4 hours,
But I have not seen something take over like
you're
a landscape like this. Even my Facebook that I check.
You're
every
right.
so
I will
often,
say
like,
I had a lot of people reach out of the woodwork about WandaVision. I had some, but not as much as this. Still, you're right. I'm going to give you this. It's creating a buzz.
Yeah, and I think they need, like Andy said, they got to capitalize.
People are talking about it. Yeah, they got to move on it.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. I'll give it up for the
Here-
movie.
Here you go, Zack Snyder.
Jeez.
Let's do a 5-film contract,
There you
$100
go.
million.
Bring it up. Bring it on,
Yep, please.
please.
I'll
Well-
chip in for money for that.
well, I'll tell you this. We'll definitely talk about it.
We have to.
All
I
right,
think
guys.
It's part of our contract that we didn't sign with you.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. It came and it went just like that. It happened, and it was awesome.
Now that we've talked about it, I'm gonna go down rabbit holes like Andy and start looking at like spoilers and like theories and
Well, we only scratched the surface. It's a 4-hour film.
yeah.
I have to just like have it on like what you watching a little bit next week, so we can just talk about it a little bit more.
We should have done like what you watching part 1 of Zack
Just do
Snyder.
6 parts like they did.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the chapters, just kind of setting it up.
Yeah.
It worked for me. It was a different way. It was
It
kind
was
of
different.
It did feel like it felt good, like being at home and like being on a couch, being like, this thing's 4 hours. And I
Yeah.
said about in-game, like that's 3 hours, and you could be like, oh, that's a lot. Like, yeah, but if it's good, it's good. This was good.
You gotta think that's the Falcon and Winter Soldier 6 episodes is basically what we just watched a 6 episode
You're so right.
Zack Snyder Justice League.
You were so right. And we were talking about this, me and Adam, about like, what would it be like to binge WandaVision?
We just got it.
I know, and
I liked it.
and I did too. And I'm wondering, that's the fundamental question: is what do people kind of prefer? Is it more of this weekly binge, or is it more of just like sit down, give me like a movie event that I'll be there for hours at least?
Well, now with at home, when did we get into movies have to be 2 hours, or if they're over 2 hours, like, ugh.
Better not.
Yeah. Now it's like, throw it on.
And it's like people are just realizing it's just about time watched total. It's just time watched.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch a TV show, you could just call Lost 6 hours, but it's, whatever. All right, let us know what you guys thought. We'll keep posting on anything we hear about it. Definitely gonna be curious about the HBO Max streaming subscriptions. We know Disney Plus recently crossed 100 million with the MCU stuff that's going. So really curious about HBO Max being so new. It's a lot newer. We'll keep posting what we hear. Right into the show. Let us know what you thought of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Let's talk about what's coming up. That was fun. That was just like nerding out,
It was.
talking about.
Yeah, we had zero organization to that whole Snyder cut, but it didn't matter.
I knew
It's like
it was the shortest part of my notes because I was like,
It was
this
just
movie
like-
just has plenty to talk about.
It was like the first Justice League, but we just talked about it. Like that's how the vision was for that.
It was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
I
Kudos
loved
to them. It really was. It could have just sucked again so easily, but
Oh yeah.
all right. Coming up on the show, music show. Have you guys seen the 2001 film Out Cold?
Yeah, Zach Galifianakis in a
Hell
hot tub.
yeah, absolutely. Let's give it up. Gagler, you seen it?
no.
All right.
Ooh, Out Cold's good.
It's good. I would recommend you go watch it. It's an easy watch. You'll have a lot of fun. It's hilarious. Zach Galifianakis' like breakout film.
Yeah.
As a major lead. Carrie, one of her favorites, has a dynamite soundtrack. I mean, the gist, they're on a ski lodge like resort, and it's like
partying.
It's like the 80s, just partying. And like, it's the same. It's just like Always Sunny does with the mountain stories. Like some new owner is coming to change everything. Did the soundtrack. Go check it out. That's exclusively on Spotify. You can search Spotify Out Cold, or you can search The Music Show. That's our spinoff. New episodes every Tuesday, taking you with the music behind the movies. PC Mike Gagler, got to get you on. I recently updated my schedule. I record these on Fridays now.
Okay.
If you ever want to come in on a Friday morning and you're feeling groovy, you got some music or a soundtrack or something you want to explore, I would love to have you guys on the music show, having a lot of fun over there.
Love to.
Let's do it.
Next up in the hashtag MCU rewatch, still watching, trying to fill up that MCU library. Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch. Talk all about it. Quickly give the story, recap connections, ratings. And for the meat, we'll be talking about the Falcon Winter Soldier, episode 2. Can't wait. We'll have news and rumors back for you next week. Starting a new thing on Fridays with a newsletter. It's calling it Logan's Letter. It goes to our newsletter folks and our folks on Patreon. So that's actually replaced our Monday mini episode. We're going to do Monday live still every Monday at noon, except now we just show you last week's episode. So today at 12, you get on there, you can see our mugs, watch the video, and just give us a follow on Instagram. Something new every day. Check out the schedule at mostlysuperheroes.com. Buy your merch. Enter the Mostly Madness bracket. Gagler, final thoughts for the squad. That was a packed episode today,
Yeah,
brother.
I think we could have talked about Snyder Cut for maybe 2 more hours.
Maybe we
But,
will.
For the whole 4-hour movie, like I can't believe it. I'm still shocked how good it was. But besides that, now we just see what happens next, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll see
ready
what they do.
for- I mean, what's our next movie we have to look forward to?
That's a good question. I know MCU we're fine,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
DC, yeah, that's the thing. It's like I know we got Black Adam coming up. the Flash movie, but timing wise, I think we got a little bit.
Yeah, I'm excited. Black Widow.
Black Widow, that's coming up in May.
Yeah.
PC Mike, final thoughts for the squad?
Get your votes in. Still plenty of time for round 1. Vote for Goodfellas.
There you go. You can still push your titles to the top.
No, I mean, excited finally for the DC universe. I mean, next DC movie is a year from now. The Batman.
The Batman with old Battinson.
Yeah,
Can't
just
wait
a
for
totally different vibe. But
What-
I want to see where this thing goes. Power of the internet. I mean, speechless, honestly, about it. Like, I can't believe that we actually got to see it.
Well, and here's the
can't
thing. I
believe
don't
how
think
good
we're
it
done
was.
talking. I don't think we're
Yeah.
done talking about it.
No, I think, like I said, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna sit on my couch and I'm gonna look at my Twitter and all that stuff and
Well,
be like, "What happened?" Get
What
on
we'll
Reddit.
do? What we'll do is we'll just keep you guys apprised of what we hear during news and rumors.
Yeah.
We'll just bring it in.
Sure.
News and rumors
There will
part
be more.
85. Well, I heard something new about the Snyder
Listen
cut.
to this. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Jam-packed. It's all happening at mostlysuperheroes.com. New episodes every Thursday. We appreciate you guys so much. Greatest fans on earth, and we'll see you next week. Take it easy.